cheers to episode
What is
113.
That? Mike's Hard. That is a Mike's Hard. I can tell. That's a Mike's Hard.
Mike's Hard. Raspberry lemonade.
Any good?
It's not bad.
It's a little too early to bring up a
sugar.
Mike's Hard. It's just not warm yet.
It's just sugar.
Courtesy of fill-in podcast guest Ben V left this in my fridge, and there's I think 3 of them left, so they just have to get drank. There's also like 25 Schmitz, so it's not great.
Because that beer's terrible, Grant. I don't have anything.
Nothing, Evan.
I have water. I have
Water. All right, stay hydrated. The time is 7:43 p.m. Sunday, March 12th, 2023. The #1 sports podcast in the state of Michigan, with a great episode ahead of us. And we have a bracket. And Evan is back.
I'm back, baby.
Feels right.
How long
Feels
has it
good.
been?
It's been at least 2 weeks for sure. Possibly. I think it was week off,
3.
1 on, 2 off. I've done it once in the last month.
I think that's right.
Wow.
A lot of takes in that brain.
Yeah. So many that I just forget, and then I just get mad when I see. I get mad when I see old like tweets that pop up on my feed, and I'm like, "Oh, that would have been a great talking point."
Yeah, you like bookmark and stuff. And you're like, I'm going to use this. And
You
you're
could
like,
just do a solo pod of all your thoughts in the last month.
Evan's thoughts of the month of February into March.
Oh my god, it'd be so toxic.
We didn't even get Evan's reaction to losing to Iowa.
No, we did not. You had to bear the brunt of that cross for MSU.
Yeah. I've had to take all the MSU hate myself.
Oh god.
Yeah, that was a good one to miss. At Shot of MS everywhere. Follow along. We have our phone number that you can use for texts or calls, which is voicemails. I want to reiterate that if you call it, it's not like one of us is going to answer. It's just straight to voicemail. So like, don't worry that you're going to like get on. We don't have a screener like Cody or Hatchet Man.
Then call us.
Then Evan will answer.
Evan,
Evan will answer, I guess. A little bit of a bonk. That number is 984-444-9286.
We do have
444.
Dial the phones.
We do have a voicemail this week, so that's huge.
Playing it live on audio.
I think I'm going to read it to you guys, but then when I edit it, I'm going to play it on live audio. Although the listener did swear, so maybe I won't. I don't want anyone to feel like they're going to be thrown under the bus if they swear on it.
Well, their name's not on it, Grant.
But for the listeners that know, they'll recognize the voice.
Who is it?
It's Ben V.
Oh.
Yeah.
He keeps his podcast running. Good for him.
He
so
does.
happy.
He's dialed in this time of year. He's been thinking about the Lions draft since like the minute the clock expired in
That's
Lambeau.
what
At least
happens when
twice a
scholarship
week.
sucks.
What do you guys
What
think
happens?
about this mock that I did?
But I love it. We have weekly check-ins, Big Ten tournament reactions, big stinkers from both of our teams. Then we have the Lions free agency preview. And then we have the NCAA tournament, the yearly show where we fill it out and we typically win our pool. So how it'll work is we'll fill out the bracket tonight. We will get to work on setting up the group as we did last year. And then we will put that out to the public. So you'll see it sometime this week, and then you can join and see how you do against our bracket and our own personal brackets. So that is the show. We're going to be on time, tight, because it does take a while to fill out a bracket with 3 people. So without further ado, weekly check-ins. I'll get mine out of the way fast. I don't have a ton. I think Evan should go last because I'm most excited to hear his. And then Alex, you can be in the middle, like the middle child. Evan, from you first, though, I need to know what your favorite Morgan Wallen song was on the album.
Oh, shoot. It's gone for me.
Wasn't a fair question.
The sports kid in me is just 98 Braves. I play that on repeat a lot. Like all the popular songs are really good that we've already heard. Like he released his solo ones.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the ones blowing up on TikTok. But I like 98 Braves. That one's also get blown up on TikTok, but listening to the album the first time in my car last Friday, Just had it on shuffle, going down 127. It popped in. That song popped on. I didn't even know the name of the song. And I was like, wow, there's a lot of sports references to it. Then I finally just had to look at the name of it. I was like, that makes sense. So
it all makes sense.
I would
Big
say
sports
98
guy
right now.
Very nice. Evan, you don't watch Outer Banks, correct?
I have not watched a single second of that show.
Okay. Do you ever
No
plan
spoilers.
It is on my list, yes.
to? Okay. All right.
This list is so stupid and big. It's never getting watched. Evan just rewatches Game of Thrones every week.
No. I did. I don't even remember. My dad was watching a part of a movie this morning, and I added that movie to the list because I only saw like the last 30 minutes, and it had me intrigued.
What was it?
I think it was City of Lies or
Ooh,
City Lies.
that sounds juicy.
It has Johnny Depp in it. It's about like LA and corrupt city police are like working for like drug dealers.
You know the ending, so might as well watch the beginning.
Correct.
It's a shame with Johnny Depp now. Every time I hear him, I'm just going to think about his girlfriend pooping on his bed.
Dude.
Oh, I totally forgot about that. And what was her name? Amber Heard?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, she got.
They called her
she's in
Amber.
Aquaman.
They called her Amber Turd.
She's not in Aquaman anymore. I think she got kicked off.
Yeah, she got booted.
Yeah.
Vinny Chase
Wow,
is
off the
Aquaman.
rails. Look at this. Off the rails already. How are we going to keep a nice, tight schedule?
We're back. Alex, I just wanted to offer to you your overall rating of season 3 of Outer Banks without giving spoilers, because Evan will watch this one day.
Yes,
1 to 10?
Thank you, Grant.
Yeah, 1 to 10.
Well, season 1 was the best.
No, I think season 2 is the best. I would stand on that
Well,
hill.
season 2 actually is pretty good.
Yeah,
I think it's the worst season,
agreed.
but I still think it's a 7 out of 10.
Evan, did you see National Treasure growing up?
Yes.
Grant, we watched it in school, dude.
National Treasure with Nick Cage?
Yes, I watched it in a class in middle school.
What grade?
7th, 8th.
All right, then we didn't have the same teachers then. I did not watch that in middle school, I don't think.
I did.
Well, you're sick.
It was awesome.
If you like that movie at all, Evan, or the sequel, then I think you will be drawn to this show because it's just a treasure hunt.
With some pretty females.
It's dumb and it gets out of hand,
Wrong.
but it's just a treasure hunt. Okay, that I got a haircut. Alex
Exciting.
always likes to roast those, so I just thought I'd bring it up.
Looks all right.
And then daylight savings, which I didn't enjoy. We lost an hour.
Didn't know what was happening.
Credit to us for grinding through.
Yeah.
Thankfully, iPhones all change, so like you don't wake up and miss anything.
Yeah. Great point.
You know how I found out?
No.
Last night. This is also kind of a borderline crazy person move, but I do it sometimes. Sometimes instead of setting like the alarm on my phone, I just turn on a timer so I can see how many hours of sleep I'm about to get. Like I'll just hit like 8 hours and then it counts down. So I clicked 8 hours to go put my phone down and I saw that it was like 11. I clicked 8 and it said you're going to be waking up at 8 a.m. And I was like, that makes no sense. Like how would I be at 8 a.m. if it's at 11? And then I was like, oh my God, we're losing an hour of sleep and it's already calculated it. So iPhone's with it.
Exciting week you had, man.
Yeah. That's why we'll pass it to Alex in the middle. I scored 25 points in my Rec League game.
Rec League, just another great performance for the team.
What about you?
I played pretty well. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
How close are you to getting a 10-day G League contract with the Motor City Cruise?
I'm right there. Right there. No, I'm just kidding. No. We started terrible, down like 12-2, but battled back.
Game of runs.
Won by like 12, I think.
Wow.
We have a bye week now. This week we are in second place. Started 0-2. We are now 5-2. So team is rolling. So that was Wednesday.
Has the top team lost yet? Or are they undefeated wagon?
They're undefeated.
Oh.
We lost them by 12, I think. Week 2, but we had never really played with our team together, so it'd be a much different game now. But they're pretty good. They blow everyone out. They have an offense and, defense. They play zone.
Oh, I hope you beat these bums.
Yeah, I mean, I do too.
Will you guys get a guy in the middle, please?
We do. Well, the first time we're like, we didn't know people played zone in this league. We're just not ready.
What if you guys pay Evan
to be our coach?
A stipend for the game you play this team, and he leads you to the promised land?
Well, the only problem is we don't practice.
You don't need to practice against
And Evan's not going to know who's good and who's on our team.
I think you could honestly just tell him that.
Yeah, I can honestly just look at somebody and I could tell who's good and who's not.
All right. Well, maybe. Evan's busy, though.
How can they play zone on Ben V?
Correct.
Or you.
Ben hit a lot of threes last game, for sure. But he did go 0 for the game before. And hit the side of the backboard. Sorry, Ben. Just had to mention that.
Back-to-back weeks of mentioning that. It's tough.
That is mean. It's kind of mean.
Well, I just had to tell Evan. It was. But no, Ben rebounded in a big way this week. He hit a nasty little step-back 3 at the end of the game when we were already up 10. It was pretty awesome.
That's how you get a fight in the handshake line.
Yeah. So that was that. Friday. Didn't do anything. Finished Outer Banks.
You finished it Saturday.
Well, I think I watched 5 episodes on Friday and then watched the last 20 minutes of the final episode on Saturday. Yeah, psycho move maybe, but whatever. I was falling asleep. That tells you anything.
Bring on home, John B.
And then yesterday I went to the bar crawl in Royal Oak that I wasn't planning on going, but then a free ticket emerged, so I just went. It was fun. There's a lot of people. It is a rowdy bar crawl.
You didn't have to pay back for the ticket?
No.
What a value.
That's what I mean. That's why I was like, I might as well just go.
You made up for it with the shots you bought.
Yeah. I'm not telling that story on the podcast.
Alex ran up a tab, Evan.
I mean, I spent like $120, which, that's a lot.
That was me last year on St. Patrick's Day.
I wasn't thrilled about it.
I did it at the Riv, though. You're in Royal Oak. I think that's a little less drinks.
Well, there was a lot of specials. Interesting Saturday, to say the least. But
was
nothing
it fun?
Crazy. It was all right.
Alex and a group of 7 girls.
Yeah, first time I've ever gone out with
solo
only
rider
chicks before.
I don't think I've ever done that, like that dynamic.
It's not a situation that ever arises that you would think would happen. But
no.
Free ticket, nothing else to do. They were all at my apartment anyways because they needed somewhere to pregame, and Grant's girlfriend decided that my apartment was the only place they could go.
Damn.
So
little COVID audible.
Yeah, they had a COVID audible, so then then I ended up there, I guess, and it was pretty fun.
You're all ready for the real St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, good St. Practice Day out of the way. That's what it was called, Evan.
I didn't make comedy.
That joke. That's what it was called. Comedy.
Put it on a t-shirt, Alex, and wear it around proudly.
St. Practice Day the week before. I've been daydreaming this whole time about Evan talking about St. Patrick's Day at the Riv. That would be such a scene. I'd love to be there.
It was the same last year. It was nonstop. It was one of the top 5 days of all time in my life.
Wow.
Oh, the Riviera.
The Riviera Cafe.
Do they always change out that like neon sign to a different phrase?
So. I guess it's
there was new signs last time we were there.
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know that.
I wonder how expensive that is to do. They probably bought like a bundle pack from Amazon. Anyways, we're way in the weeds. I'm just thinking how they did that. Anything else?
A whole lot of nothing. So that's it. That's it for my weekend.
You just bet on college basketball and won.
I would also just like to mention I'm on a college basketball betting heater. I cannot be stopped. I am not even trying to win anymore. I'm just throwing things at the wall and seeing if I keep hitting, and I keep hitting. Other than when I listen to Grant. Don't take Michigan State alternate spreads in a game that Grant's absurdly confident in.
Alex is doing so good that he's about to get invited on to Bad Beats with SVP and Stanford Steve, and will also be making an appearance on the Barstool Sportsbook live streams over March Madness.
You got to do that.
I probably won like 25 out of my last 32 bets. That's just what's happening. And I'm a notoriously pretty bad gambler.
You know what this means, though, right?
I'm going to go on a horrendous low point. Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
The tournament. But you've already basically cashed out, so
every time I've
smart.
ever betted during the tournament, I've done awful. So
Did you say every time you've betted?
Bet. Every time I bet on the tournament.
You're a big grammar guy. That was a tough look.
I think betted's a word.
No shot. Because bet is like also the past tense. Anyways, that doesn't matter.
Past tense, betted. Past participle, betted. Who's dumb? You.
No way that's a past participle.
Oh, it is. I'm reading it.
I gotta get Miss Adams on the phone. All right, that concludes that concludes Alex's. And now you hear not only a guy that hasn't been on for 2 weeks, but when you talk about this man for the rest of your life, you have to say district champion coach Evan Camus. It's like when you're a Super Bowl champion. This man has helped bring a district title to a town that hadn't had one in over 20 years before any of us were born. Congratulations, Coach Camus.
Thanks. I didn't do much, but everyone kept congratulating me.
Different pool.
So I just said yes. So electric game. That was probably like the top high school game I've ever attended.
It looked
or
rowdy.
Watched or been a part of. I mean, rivalry game, two best teams in the county at the rivals location, so it's a true away game basically.
Standing room only. What it looked like.
110% capacity, and for the district championship, all-time classic game too, overtime.
Wow.
So it was great. Came out on the winning end and turn around and play tomorrow.
Thoughts on the refs giving to come see the win?
It's typical high school fans. They were bad on both ends. I'm not saying they favored whoever, but
they favored to come see Evan.
That's just Adrian narratives.
We were in foul trouble. Our best player didn't play like the last 5 minutes of the third quarter because he was in foul trouble.
Wow.
Who's your best player?
We had a guy foul out. One of our top defenders, the most athletic kid on the court, fouled out for us. Didn't play the entire overtime. Genevieve fouled out. Zajac got in 4 fouls early in the third quarter.
Wow. So these refs just sucked.
Yeah. They weren't ready for the big show. They weren't.
I will say this: they made an all-time great decision on the
final play,
the 3-point shot. They gave you guys like the lead, and then you just had to make free throws. Yeah, at first, like you watch it, and if you're a casual fan, you're like, "Oh, that kid went flying." He jumped into, it was Zajac who was driving. Like it was like if he just stood there, maybe it's a charge. But like I saw some of their fans, like 2 people on Twitter, not a lot of people, were like, "Such a missed call here." It's like, I mean, the kid turned his shoulder into the offensive player and did not take a charge, so therefore it cannot. If anything, it's a block. You can't just jump into a guy when he's dribbling the basketball. So.
The way that game was trend towards, that was, I wouldn't have been shocked if they called that a charge. They called one of the worst charge I've ever seen in my life on Grant Mossberg. He was driving in, like bumped a guy, then spun out and like went out for a shot attempt. So it wasn't really a floater, but it's turned around to shoot it, and they called an offensive foul. Like didn't even move the other guy. Like he made contact first. It was horrendous.
College refs even do that. They called one last night in UCLA, Arizona. That was a poster dunk, and they called an offensive foul on the guy that dunked it. It was insanity.
They were. I was watching. I was a sick mind. I was watching the Ivy League championship this afternoon, and but there was probably like a 6 possession stretch where they called like 4 or 5 offensive fouls.
I would almost never call a charge if I was a ref.
And then the announcer was like, "Yeah, I don't think that was a charge." And the other guy was like, "No, that was definitely a charge. I like that call." Just completely torn.
I like that call.
But tomorrow night at Chelsea for regional semifinals against Charlotte.
So dumb how they pronounce that.
Never understood why it was Charlotte. But whatever.
That's how they pronounce it.
One question to you, Evan, from You have way more reps than I have, but I think from the 1 year I coached at Park Tudor, we have similar mindsets on the bench. If these clips I saw are accurate, we're both big sit-down guys. When big things happen, I was looking in, the whole bench is up and Evan stays seated. Is that like a conscious choice you make? So you're like, I just need to stay grounded and level. I don't want to get too high or too low, so I just sit.
My problem is that, like, I have the stats, so I'm holding onto an iPad.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, as soon as the play's happening, like, I need to plug it in. Otherwise, like, it's super fast to get lost. So I see the shot go in. Inside, I'm like, holy crap, what a big shot from a sophomore. Instantly, head down, got to plug it in. Like, I don't really have, like, time to celebrate or anything. Like, I celebrate in between timeouts.
And if you would have been celebrating.
If I had nothing in my hand, yes, I would have jumped up.
And if you stand up, you risk dropping the iPad with a bump. Like,
it's a new
you guys
iPad
do stats with an iPad?
Yeah.
That's insane. That's high tech.
In the district championship game when we were in it, I stood up when we hit a 3 and knocked 2 cups of water out of Jeff Arnett's hands.
Yeah. I remember that.
Yeah. It's a big moment.
Yeah. Monday game was at that game, first game against Palmer Western, just blew them out of the waters. Wednesday was unable to attend the... Who did they play? They played Madison, rematch against Madison. I did not get to attend that game. I had an important travel baseball meeting in Brighton. Got to schedule.
I thought you needed me to go to that.
That was like way back in January. You were so out of the loop, man. Okay, so just douchebag of the week. Douchebag of the week is this other coach. There's 12 teams in my pool for my age group. Everything is set. These coaches we have to build our own divisions, have to build our schedule. Nobody's telling us to go where, who, what, where.
What? You're an athletic director.
Yeah. So there's 11 of us that agree on this format that we have for the divisions. One coach is delaying this process for so long. He's like, no, I can only play 10 games. I can only play 10 games. It's like, dude, you are in a league. 95% of us want to play at least 14. He was just the douchebag of the week. Oh my gosh. So we kicked him off, and there was only 11 teams in our age group now to make everything go better.
You just booted him from the league?
Yeah. It was basically like nobody said anything. He's like, well, I guess I have to leave. And everyone just kind of sat there and was like, I guess so.
That's actually pretty funny.
Yep. So he's actually going to play up a division because he does not have enough days. He is so busy in the summer. He has no off weekends.
Feels like he shouldn't be a travel baseball coach then.
Correct. No, he shouldn't have joined a league. If you only had the max you can play is 10, just pick up games, dude.
I just love that. I like the idea of 11 guys being like, yep, works for me. And then this guy goes, I can only do 10.
That's basically how it
went. Any other big items?
No, I think that's about it. Saturday and Sunday. Laid around, literally did nothing except watch college basketball all weekend. Yeah, that's about it.
Pretty electric stuff. So we'll stay tuned to see how long this run lasts. But no matter what happens from here on out, can't take district championship away from you. It happened.
Yeah.
Is the way it's formatted now, do you always have to win 3 games, or does someone get a bye and then only have to play 2 games?
They actually get seeded out now for districts.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so the 1-2 seed gets byes. So you don't always have to play 3 games.
So were you guys a 3?
Yeah, by like 1 or 2 points based off of it's basically like playoff points, just like football.
Someone definitely rigs that metric for sure.
I mean, if you would have beat Madison, you would have been the 2. It was just vice versa at the beginning of the year. Madison beat us, so they basically got those points.
Nice. Little 3-seed upset. All right. Speaking of a basketball tournament, the Big Ten tournament happened. Let's start with the team that is now irrelevant in college hoops. Let's start with Michigan. We had a pretty cathartic episode that we filmed right after the Indiana loss. Day of the game, I told Alex in a text that Michigan's not winning this game. So I was already out. There was no buyback in, really. Maybe deep down in the depths of my fandom, I was like, what if they make it? But team, as I tweeted out, the season ended when they pulled stunts at Wisconsin and they lost. And I texted that in the 517 crew and I said, I'm done with it. Sure, I was hurt by their losses against Illinois and Indiana, but like in my common sense brain, I knew this team didn't have the it factor when they were allowed to do that at Wisconsin, and they still lost. My emotions, I feel a good sense of relief, and I'm almost thankful that this season's done because I don't really know like how many more times I wanted to go through it. I don't plan to watch any NIT basketball if they get it. I believe that selection show's at 10 p.m. tonight. I saw someone tweet that out, and I was like, this is the first time I even knew. The sad thing is for you guys, whenever inevitably you get to this point,
not gonna happen.
Never doing it. It does stink. Like today did stink. Like I thought I was over it, but it circles back when you see the building and then you're sitting there. And the most annoying part is watching teams that you did beat get in at relatively good seeds. Like seeing Northwestern get a 7 and you swept them. Like I understand Michigan did not deserve to get in, but it still stinks when you see Maryland, who you beat by 40, Pitt, who you beat by 40, Northwestern, who you swept, comfortably get in. And you're like, I know deep down we're not that bad, but that just makes it all the more frustrating of how much they choked games and also lost to Central Michigan. So that is the biggest annoyance.
I feel that. We'll touch on it a little bit when we get to the tournament, like the bracket grant, but like just seeing all these teams and where they're ranked, it's just proven that these conferences are so much worse than people think. And these teams are so much worse than that's why they don't make it far, is just because the record is good doesn't mean they're actually that much better.
It's a weird year of college basketball.
100%.
Wide
open year, I would say.
Soon.
Yeah. I do think I changed my mind. I think I was probably overreacting last week. I do think this team should take an NIT bid because I think it's invaluable to have your freshman point guard at least like play in tournament games, like do or die format, multiple games. I think that you learn from that. You have enough young guys that will hopefully be in the program next year that you should take the bid. And then the other point was, I think after we saw how the tournament played out as well, the Jet debate only more further cemented that theory that we were working on when he was out. I mean, you just look at the win-loss. It's more than just that, but you win 3 games in a row without him, 2.5 games without him because he got hurt in the middle of MSU, and then you didn't win a game since he came back. You lost every single game that he came back for. And that clip of him not boxing out and then throwing a temper tantrum was one of the all-time clips. All-time clips.
Someone said to me the other day, they were like, you just can't coach your sons in sports. There's no good way to do it.
There's one example that was good that always comes to my mind, and it was McDermott at Creighton. He coached his son hard.
Buddy
Evan's
Boeheim.
favorite college basketball player ever.
He is the greatest college basketball player of our generation, so...
I might go watch Doug McDermott highlights when we're done with this because he really was generational.
You'll be so happy.
Was he that good?
They didn't make this. They lost in the second round of Florida, right?
They lost also 1 year. They
never made it to the Sweet 16.
They lost to Baylor. Baylor
part.
was like a high seed. They lost to like the buzzsaw neon Baylor uniforms.
Oh wow!
Devastating year.
Evan's favorite college basketball player ever.
You're gonna watch his highlights, and he bangs threes from NBA range way back before.
He's an NBA player.
Way back before like Curry made it popular. Way back before like Jimmer made it popular. Jimmer was around that, I guess, a little bit before. But like Doug McDermott, just catch and shoot, man, from the Creighton logo.
Dude's a unit too.
It's a shame
Not
they
a little
didn't.
Guy.
It's a shame they didn't get like he didn't have a Gordon Hayward Butler type run because he deserved it. He was that good.
Did.
They're just role players. Probably were terrible.
I got to see what we're talking about here.
A deflection from Michigan season. I think we should focus more on how UNC was preseason ranked number 1 and also missed the tournament.
No.
So that is insane. That's pretty insane.
First time ever.
Adds to my point.
Did you see all that drama they were saying?
They almost got in. 3rd team out.
Yeah. Somebody said that it was all because team chemistry and somebody...
Grant said this. Grant says that Caleb Love girlfriend.
Yeah, there's a bunch of rumors online about that.
I did look up to some
and
sources.
True, I could see why there was some beef.
So I looked into it a little more. Caleb Love did release a photo when this was going on with a picture of them laughing before the game, saying like they'll spread lies. So he seemed to have his partner's back. But in my head, the only way that makes sense they were so bad is because that happened. So I don't know the truth. But I'm going to run with the narrative that happened for their sake because there's no other explanation of how they were that bad unless their coach is just a one-hit wonder like Kevin Ollie. I don't know how you're that
Watch
bad.
their game against Virginia. They are bad. They're horrendous.
It's wild.
Their offense is awful. Which is crazy because they have a bunch of guys that can score.
A lot of the Michigan jokes of 2 lotto picks, potentially All-American center, were going around. The number 1 team in the country preseason did not make the tournament, so I'm choosing to focus on that. They are. And they're not jokes, they're facts.
Yeah, they're facts.
They're facts.
So don't get butthurt, Michigan fans. You deserve it.
I only have one last thing on Michigan, but I wanted to offer up any. Do you guys have any questions you want to put me on the spot here to answer after how their whole season has unfolded?
I have questions.
Oh, giddy questions from you guys.
Do you want Wolves are attacking? To come back?
No.
Guys,
do you think
Kobe
Buffkin stays?
I pray Kobe Buffkin stays.
Do you want Dick back?
No.
Do you want Jawan back?
And how many years are you giving him?
Where's that temperature on his seat?
So it's warm going into the off. Like he's not going to get. He should not get.
He's never going to get fired because he's
a royalty there.
Yeah,
I think he would just go to an. I think it would be like go back to the NBA. Like I could see Ward telling him go back to the NBA if things go bad.
There's so many good college coaches that there's no way you can just sit there and watch this burn down.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's true. He's like not.
He's not going to burn it down all the way ground, but John Beilein built this thing up to where Michigan was terrible in the Big Ten. John Beilein built it up, and then now Howard needs to either maintain that consistency level of success, or you might as well move on from him.
Yeah, so it's a pivotal year coming. It's a pivotal year coming up because he did win a Big Ten championship. Which I admitted to Alex, it's the longer we get away from it, the flukier it feels. Even as a Michigan fan, you go back and dive into it. We only played 17 games. Illinois was very mad. Illinois beat us by like 20 on our home court. But you don't apologize for it. He did win a Big Ten championship. Exactly. You did have a great team that had livers get hurt. You went to the Elite Eight. You should have made a Final Four. If he makes a Final Four, I probably give him even more. I do give him more. I give him way more slack if you make that Final Four. It's a make or break season. If it goes bad, I will be fully in he needs to go back to the NBA camp. So it's a prove it year.
How's your recruiting class look for next year?
It is. They only have 2 guys. They're bringing in 2 guys, and I don't know where it exactly ranks. It's not super high though, which I do have some thoughts on as well, because I did listen into. During this week of basketball, I wanted to see what the big radio station in our state was saying, 97.1. And I did have a disagreement with Valenti on one of his points, which usually I consider him to be very dialed in on a lot of things. This one, I think he's missing the mark. He was holding it against Jawan that he doesn't have a big class coming in this year, where in my mind, as a Michigan fan, I don't mind that because we've had the almost number 1 class in the country like 2 years ago, and it did nothing. And then we had another massive one this past year with like 5 people coming in. It hasn't done anything really yet. So I'm okay with the approach where you mix the portal, you get more character. Like he was saying, like, if you don't have a top 50 guy in your class, what is Jawan even doing? Well, we've just done that the last 2 years. And like Caleb Houston was not great. He went straight to the NBA, and Musa was okay and went straight to the NBA. So like, I don't really need those guys in the program if they're not going to be there for more than 1 year, unless they're like really good. I was looking back, Jaden Ivey was the 75th player in a class. Like you can find, I'm not worried about his recruiting. When people say that all offseason, look at his recruiting class, it's nothing. He's going downhill. I don't think that's a bad idea, especially because we have so many roster spots already plugged up by young guys. Like Doug's a freshman, Terrace Reed's a freshman, Kobe's a sophomore. If he comes back,
in basketball is fully dependent on who's coming back, who you already have. So now
the transfer portal, I mean,
the portal
point.
And also this team,
Michigan State's done the whole 2
transfer portal is even more important in college basketball than it is in college football.
And it's a hindsight 2020 excuse season, but if this team gets Terrence Shannon like they were supposed to do before Mark Adams that blocked it, who got fired for spitting on his player and basically referring to them as slaves.
I totally forgot about this hatred for him. because of
I
the
wondered why
situation.
you said that. He's such a vulgar.
I
will
mean,
hold
it's,
a grudge.
it's college basketball news, so like I don't blame anybody putting that in the group chat. But I totally forgot about this
Yeah.
because
I
of
didn't
this
realize
situation.
at the time that you had another reason to hate him.
I will
forgot all
dislike
about
him the rest of my life. He's the worst. He's a
Is he
scumbag.
on, is
It
he
was
on your
proven.
dartboard?
What does
Is
that mean?
Mark Adams, like you throw darts at his face, like out of hatred.
I mean, he's probably like top 10.
Fran McCaffrey's on Evans.
After
Oh,
what
God,
Terrence
yes.
Shannon did to us to like end our season at Illinois, he went higher because I just kept thinking about how he should have been in the Maize and Blue and was going to be if his coach wasn't like, well, I'm not going to release you from your credits, which any normal coach does. So this team would be way better. They would have made the tournament. They would have been a threat. Terrence Shannon is a dog. So
I don't know. Illinois sucks.
that's just because their coach isn't good, though.
Oh,
I don't know. I'm not saying ours is great. I'm saying ours is done. Ours has already done way more than Brad Underwood has.
whoa! Brad Underwood took Stephen F. Austin to the Sweet 16.
Good for Brad.
Yeah.
I think his program is kind of a mess.
He does not have a good mix. He brings in guys that are all about themselves, and that is causing him problems.
And he embarrasses himself in press conferences too when he.
He's
Anyways,
a blamer. He's a finger pointer.
yeah. So to your point, I'm like, do you want him there? Like, there's a lot of coaches in college basketball I would take over Juwan right now after what I've seen, but I'm not
Available
gonna be.
ones.
I'm not gonna be beating the drum. Like I would have taken
Money
Patino if
talks.
Patino wanted to come. I'd be like, all right, let's take Patino.
Yeah, Rick Pitino
Do that
would be
in a
awesome.
second. It'd be great.
That'd be sexy.
That would be awesome.
But I'm not going to be banging the drum this offseason. He has to. I think that's way too premature.
Maybe he'll just leave for the NBA this offseason.
That also would not surprise me if he wants to go where Jack
Thought
goes.
about
I
it the
don't.
last 2 years.
He got offered by the Lakers and he turned it down
Well, who would want to coach LeBron?
Pretty easy job.
because he
LeBron
did.
does everything.
He did what
Yeah, he
Harbaugh
get
never
fired in
did.
1 year.
He actually, to his credit, he did what Harbaugh doesn't do. He came out and said, "I'm not taking any NBA stuff." But that's because his son was.
Harbaugh-
Okay, all right, relax. Any other burning questions you have?
I have
I feel
a
like that
million
probably-
if we wanted to go on this forever.
You have that many more? I feel like this team's not that. Yes, I miss Frankie Collins every day. He was my guy. I miss him.
I just remember we had a conversation
I
2
love
years
Doug,
ago.
though.
You miss Brandon Johns.
No, I don't miss.
He's
Brandon.
going to the tournament.
I'm happy for him. I'm
So is
happy
Zeb
for
Jackson.
him. I'm happy for both of them. And Colin Castleton in Florida. He didn't make it this year, but he turned out
He's
to
a
be a great player
dog.
too.
He's better than Dickinson.
I disagree.
He's very good.
He is very good. I don't think
He's
so.
very good. He's better than Dickinson.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is. I would rather have him.
What are your questions? You're looking up his stats right now.
I don't think
I
I
am.
watched one Florida game this year.
I just remember, Grant, 2 years ago, you looked at me and you said, "You have to be honest, Alex. Michigan is on such a better trajectory than Michigan State basketball." You said that to me, and you meant it. And now we're here, and it feels like, well, it doesn't really feel that way. What went wrong?
I don't know the exact timestamps of it, but I would stand by that comment in the moment if it was during the year they were winning the Big Ten. Like I did
It was
think
the year
in my
Michigan
brain.
State was barely made the tournament, and the year Michigan went to the Elite Eight.
yeah,
It was
at that
right
time,
before that tournament.
at that time, it felt good. It felt like they were in a good spot. Like Jawan was able to get transfer pieces and put things together. What happened, in my opinion, is that we all know Dickinson became, I'm not going to call him a captain. I don't know if he's officially a captain, but he became an elder statesman leader on this team who did a podcast with Marty Mush. And I don't think,
Scumbag.
I don't know.
16-8-3 for Colin Castleton. Dude's a dog.
I don't think that Dickinson is meant to be the leader of a team, and then also coach's talented son is not conducive to winning college basketball games due to his effort on one side of the floor. That is what I think happened to this team.
I'm not saying this team specifically. I'm just saying this program the last 2 years.
I think the Dickinson disease, if you want to call it that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. We should
So you're going to
tweet
be
that.
better next year without him.
Well, there's still a big question mark about coaching. There's
He's
no
back,
doubt.
though.
Please no.
Dude, he is back.
There's a chance though. No, I'm not going to say he changes and plays like better like energy because he made maybe that. I don't know if he can be humbled by an NIT. I would hope everyone in the program would be super humbled by how the season panned
If
out
you
and to be
guys
back
lose
with
first
a
round
vengeance.
NIT, oh my god.
That doesn't even matter at this point. I don't care about.
No, it wouldn't matter. I would just think it's hilarious. personally.
That's to me. I wouldn't care at all.
I wouldn't watch it if it was Michigan State.
But I mean, like, I don't even think it's like a funny or a diss if you lose first round NIT. It's such a.
Is it funnier if you win?
Yeah, it probably would be.
Is it
funnier.
more embarrassing if you win the NIT?
Yeah, I think so because that just
and then
proves
like
that
get happy about it.
That just proves you were
Raise the
actually
banner,
better.
Alex. Raise that banner in the Chrysler Center.
Oh my god, they'd have to.
It's a little empty up there.
No, they would not.
The NIT,
Yeah, they
the other
would.
one's up there.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah, it is.
If you win the NIT, it's way more embarrassing because it shows that you should have been in the big tournament and you're probably better than the first 4 teams. You just were that incompetent when you needed to win the regular season.
Michigan in the NIT final is going to be electric. It's going to be my first NIT final
It
ever.
would be a Paul McCahey legacy game.
In Madison Square Garden.
In the
home
Garden,
court advantage
home game
for Rutgers.
the Rutgers.
Yeah, no, it's just... the program is in a very
Panic
pivotal...
button? Have we hit it?
On a scale of 1 to 10, we're on
No,
like
Grant, the button's in front of you. Have you pressed it?
No, not yet.
Oh my God, our tip off just released.
And
What time? Breaking.
I think I just saw 12:15.
I told you,
You're
Grant,
right,
first
Alex.
game of the day.
So they made USC come to Columbus and play at 9 a.m. their time. That is
Yeah.
torture.
We are the first game on Friday. No.
I
Dude,
knew
you
it was
guys
going to happen.
You guys got to figure out a way to get to East Lansing on Friday.
But I have to get there by then. I'm
Well,
not
you
going
are
to
taking Friday off.
I'm taking Friday off. I'm taking Friday off. Because
I
if I
really
get
is.
out at...
I have stuff
Breaking
to do,
news,
but
Evan is taking.
I'm going to have to.
There's
I'm
no
gonna
way
have to
with
take
all
it
my
off.
stuff. There's no way.
Let's wrap that for Michigan. Let's do just Michigan State Big Ten tournament. I don't want to
No,
get into
we don't need to talk
prediction
about
for March yet because we'll get that in the bracket.
That means we're the first game on Sunday morning, just completely hung over at the... Oh, my God.
Were you guys really?
That's not a
Were you guys really disappointed by the Ohio State loss, or have
Yes.
you coped? Okay,
I'll be
All right.
honest.
It
I
pissed me
thought I
off.
was going to be super devastated. Sorry, I'm swearing a lot today.
it's okay.
Super devastated. And in the moment, like, when you knew it was probably over with, like, I don't know, 9 minutes left in the second half, felt like.
When Hogard was sitting there acting like next to Izzo on the bench, that's when I knew it was over. Yes.
Evan, did you see that live?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I did not see it live, so that was jarring. That's why I sent the clip to you guys.
Anyways,
I have notes about that clip.
I was upset, and then I was like, it's the Big Ten tournament. I know it would have been awesome to win, blah, 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 but I got over it pretty fast. I thought I was going to handle that much worse, and I handled it all right.
You gotta be really disappointed, though. I mean, that was a blown opportunity to a T.
It stunk that we didn't get the chance to at least play Purdue. I don't even know if we would have beat them, but it hurts, but it's not like the Iowa loss I was more upset about, surprisingly.
Yes, I was way more upset for the Iowa loss.
I just know that the ultimate goal is not win the Big Ten tournament, it's make a Final Four.
Okay, I get the reactions to the Iowa loss, but I feel like just level of pissed off that this is a 13 seed in your own conference and they just lost their best player, and then you it wasn't even really close. It was like they led wire to wire.
It was
that was jarring.
With 16 minutes left. The thing that we go back to is you played them twice in 6 days. It's no matter what, that's always rough. Well, the same thing happened last year. We played Maryland twice in 6 days. We blew them out the first time, and then we had to squeak out like a 1-point victory the next time we played them. It's just playing a team twice in a week is not easy, especially when everyone's on a similar level. It's not like Ohio State has bad players.
It made me rethink everything I thought about Michigan State in the moment.
And I also saw a good tweet from, I can't remember what beat writer, but conference tournaments, weird shit happens all the time. It's like the 1 week where it's like what teams really want it, what teams don't, what teams want the rest, what teams don't have any purpose to win. I don't think we're one of those teams, by the way. I think we laid a dud. But I also think Ohio State was playing with free house money and could do whatever they wanted. I mean, they had nothing to lose. Nothing.
But the AJ body language clip.
Listen, dude, he does that. I don't have a good... I'm not going to sit here and defend it and say it's good.
That was different though. I've seen most of your guys' games. Usually he like goes back at Izzo, which is better than just being disinterested. That was a full like I do not respect you talking to me right now, which is an insane thing to do.
When that happened, he honestly did respond in the game.
He shouldn't have to respond in the game.
Agreed. He shouldn't. He should never be in that situation. It shouldn't take Izzo rip every game. I wish he could just figure it out on his own.
He's junior.
We just need to know that he is not a leader, never will be on this team.
Facts.
He's not an on-court leader.
He's not a captain, no. Can't be.
He's like that guy from draft day.
He's still ultimately the most important player on our team. Because when he's playing well, that's when we play the best. When he's dishing it out, that's when all the dudes are making threes. It's because of what he's doing. And when he plays like shit, it is magnified. How does he not plays horrendous.
But how does he not understand that?
Trust me, I can't get in his mind and tell him. Clearly, Izzo's trying everything. It's not working. There's games where he's fantastic, and there's games where he does this, and it's like first half Nebraska, same thing. Second half, he gets his ass chewed, and he comes out and plays fantastic. I don't know. He's a kid.
That's the tough part about the tournament is like you're not facing any Nebraskas.
We can't have a slow AJ first half. Right. We can't have that.
You do that against Boogie Ellis, and he's just going to put it on you, and you're going to be like, oh my God, how'd that happen?
No offense to Trey Holloman, but he's not going to be able to do diddly-dit in the tournament.
There's also some rotation questions I had during that conference.
Oh my God, they're some of the worst lineups I've ever seen in my life, and that I honestly, in the moment, questioned, does Izzo just want to lose?
Like this late in the year, it didn't make any sense.
Kohler, Holloman, and Brooks were on the floor at the same time in this basketball game. Why would you ever have that lineup?
Well, you know why Holman was out there. Holloman.
Because AJ's getting ripped. Fine, I expect Holloman to play like 2 minutes a game.
They don't want Brooks to transfer.
Brooks goes in at the same time every single game to see what he can do.
So for no reason, he has not done anything in 2 months, Evan. And if I watch this happen on Friday, I'm going to lose my mind.
Sissoko's playing great ball. He needs to ride Sissoko.
Shouldn't have been taken off the court.
Sissoko can't play.
It feels good, Evan. No, he could. He's very athletic.
I think he could.
He'd fall out
we went on the 10-0 run or whatever to get within 2, they called the timeout, and then we come out with a completely new lineup.
In 4 minutes. It was just 4 minutes of play.
Bums. And then after they went on a 9-0 run.
That was insane.
I'm not explaining that one. I'm not talking about that one.
I love Izzo. What is he doing? What is that lineup? Why would he
keep going?
That?
I'm grabbing another mic.
Calder missed a layup.
Yep, because he shouldn't have been on the court. Sissoko was in for the run.
I think Sissoko should have stayed in there for defense.
Yes.
Calder missed a layup. I think Hall turned the ball over, and then somebody missed a jump shot.
Oh my God! Don't get me.
This is his worst game of his career.
By far. I couldn't even believe it, what I was watching. The last 3 games, he has looked like shit.
Malik Hall?
Yes.
That was just the last game. He played well against Ohio State at home.
I guess I don't remember that game. All I remember watching in that game was AJ and Tyson for our gambling purposes.
Here's a quote that rings in my brain that I heard Big Cat say somewhere over the weekend, or was it the week before on their podcast? He was saying that, I don't know who coined the phrase, but he took it from someone else. It's like in March, you get to this point, you play 8 people and you trust 7. With your guys' depth, I almost think it's you play 7 and you only trust 6 guys. Like when I look at the roster, he
did that in the past. We did go to Final Four. We had Cassius and Xavier, so they played the entire time.
Why
we played a crap ton of people, but he only does that literally we get into the tournament. Like McQuaid,
did it.
Cassius and Tillman only played
7. If this happens again this weekend,
Syracuse, he was trying to find somebody that can actually score the ball.
Let's go.
So Ben Carter was his option.
Well,
Jaren Jackson, the best defender in the NBA, was sitting on the bench.
Walk me through this. This
wasn't
is
the best defender yet, Alex.
Well, that 2-3 zone is tricky.
Not over it.
Get over it.
We did go 4 for 29 in that game from 3 or something terrible. One of them was a McQuaid luck shot.
All right, so if the 6 that we trust are Hogard, Walker, Hauser, Hall, Sissoko, Akins, if that's our 6, who's the 7th that we're going to have to play? Say that again. Hogard, Walker, Hauser, Hall, Sissoko, Akins.
Who would be our 7th?
Kohler has to play a couple spot minutes for Sissoko, and that's it?
You might have Holloman like do the whole 4 minutes and 20 seconds to the under 4.
But to me, it's like, get Holloman out and just shift over like Walker or Akins. You have 3 guards
Akins
that can
didn't
play
nearly enough Friday either. I don't know
crazy.
I mean, I get he wasn't playing his best, but like you gotta ride guys and just see.
He was mad.
But he at the very least he impacts the game on the defensive end. They should have put him on Thornton because nobody was stopping Thornton. It was bully ball.
Yeah,
Akins was
against us.
Akins is the best defender on Michigan State, in my opinion.
Guard defender, yeah.
Yeah, I guess he can't guard like Edie. No one can actually, so that's a bad example. But like, he's not going to guard like.
You can't
the
guard
6,
a 4.
He's not going to guard the 6'9" guy from USC. But he could guard. He should guard Boogie Ellis. He really should.
Tyson's actually probably our best guard defender.
No, not well. Against bigger guys like Thornton, he just abused him. He was too big.
Yeah, but there's not many guys built like that at point guard. You don't see that often.
Just our
point guard and their point guard.
Yeah, and like Pickett, but Pickett's like a power
Pickett
forward
is
point
not
guard.
A point guard.
Pickett's such a dog. Anyways, I think that's your 6, and then you mix in Kohler a little bit. I don't think Holloman and Brooks should be playing in the NCAA tournament
Brooks
right now.
has no business being on the floor. None. 0.
And if you want
Foul
Cooper
trouble,
if you want Cooper instead of Kohler, I'm fine with that. I think you just need a big for like a couple minutes. But Sissoko, with how he's played
Cooper
recently,
hasn't
I
played
think
in
he
5
needs to
years.
run. I know Sissoko's infuriating at times, and you should not give him the ball in the post ever. He should just be the rebound guy.
Post touches. I can
Does not. He just needs to set screens and grab boards. But he should play. He's been playing good, and he blocks a lot of shots. Another stat.
Sissoko played great Friday.
A stat to keep an eye on. I don't know the merits of this, but I was looking back at the box score from OSU. Tyson shot 9 times and AJ shot 12, and I think any time that is the split where AJ shoots more than Tyson, it's probably a bad outcome for the team.
I would just like to mention again, that is not all AJ's fault. It's all on coaches as well we just go away from Tyson for like 7 minutes a game, every game. Why do we do that? The games where he just like shoots every other possession are the games we play the best.
You gotta give credit to Ohio State. They ramped up their pressure. They understood their situation, and they played fantastic defensively that entire game.
They did, but I also think Tyson needs to find that like I can take over this.
The killer instinct, step back, like he needs to shoot.
He has it at home. He has never had it anywhere else.
The metaphorical like gave the blueprint. I imagine USC watches that tape and they try to do the same thing defensively, where it's like bring out high pressure on these guards, make sure they can't shoot threes, and dare them to like give entry touches to Sissoko and see what happens.
Yeah. They're going to do the same thing. They'll do the same thing in one-on-one in the post because Sissoko only shoots like 40%.
He's one of the lowest percent
from the field, which is crazy.
From post touches, post touches, not from the field. Post touches. So that means you're catching it like 5 feet from the basket.
At posting up.
Yeah.
What the blueprint was at Nebraska when they just ran hard out on every threes and forced us to do the one dribble and in twos, and we just don't make those. Make threes, no problem. We don't make long twos.
Well, Tyson, Akins, and Hauser can make those.
Watch the first half of the Nebraska game and watch them just clank and clank and clank over.
I do.
It's a tough jam to shoot at. I'm just
one bad performance doesn't define the team. It's just a bad taste in your mouth.
The sky is falling. People are, of course, out in full again.
No, you guys are all late. Your fan base is back after this draw you got, which we'll get to. Like, I think everyone's back.
So ridiculous. So
every fan base is. Every fan base is, Alex.
Put hair on your scrotum and nut up, and here we go.
When your fan base
fully believing in this team,
when your fan base tastes,
we're the most toxic. We've known this ever since we started the podcast. Every single week, we have to talk about Michigan State's terrible fan base. And
we're the most toxic fan base I've ever seen in my life.
I personally, on my own account, unfollowed like 3 people this weekend. I unfollowed 3 people this weekend because I couldn't stand them. Michigan State fans.
It's more because one, we're on Twitter more in this space because we're trying to build the podcast brand. But 2, it's also because once your fan base, speaking from existence, myself, goes through an NCAA tournament where you don't make it, I think you'll realize you're not going to jump on teams as hard. Like, you're going to look back and be like, wow, we made it 25 years in a row. Like, well, I know we were nitpicking things, but it's not that bad. Like, that's a great time to celebrate is those accomplishment. Like, remember, you made 25 years in a row at the tournament. It's not that bad.
Trust me, I don't think it's that bad. That's what I try to consistently say to myself while I'm reading how horrendous we are, and we're a dumpster fire basketball program. We're a joke and blah, 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 blah. And people just have no idea how hard it is to do what we've done.
I mean, if you told our dads that St. John's and Georgetown's would be butt and they both had to hire new coaches, they'd be like, what? Yeah. Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, those were the elite programs so that's what big picture, zoomed out view.
We're a quarter of our life in, Evan, and we have never seen us miss the tournament.
Last time you missed it was the year we were born.
Well, I wasn't alive when that tournament. I was born right after that tournament. You were alive for that one.
I was born right before my existence.
You've been alive for a missed tournament. I have not.
Oh.
This is my first tournament with no rooting interest between Michigan or Butler since 2010, and it feels bad.
Oh, it's 2010.
Final Four year for MSU.
Butler.
Because I wasn't a Butler fan yet. I became a Butler fan when they lost the year before I went to school there. When I was eyeing them, they lost to Notre Dame in the second round in like an overtime game. So I was vested. Michigan did not make it that year, but I was rooting for Butler. So since then, I've had a team every year that I cared about. Don't have it this year, except for Houston. Roll Cougs. I've invented the Houston narrative, which we'll see. Before we get to the tournament bracket, let's spend a couple minutes on Detroit Lions.
Lions?
I don't even know who we're targeting.
Just some news.
Not a lot of rumors.
I want to keep
position of needs, bro. All the rumors are going to kick off at noon tomorrow.
I want to keep it tight. I want it to be kind of just like your wish list, as I wrote, and who do you not want? Like, give me one or two guys that you'd really like, and maybe a guy that you're out on that is hyped up in the media. Or, yeah, I would say that's fair. And then if you want to answer as well, like what position you think we need to target, maybe you answer that with the guy you want, but that could also be a different, like your wish list. And then also we should really need to target one of these positions in free agency. So would anyone like to go first?
No.
No. You don't want to go first, Alex?
No.
I can go first.
Go ahead.
What I'm looking at, I think the biggest thing I want in free agency for our football team is a linebacker, a proven linebacker. Because Rodrigo's a staple. I'm going to overreact to his rookie year and say he's good and he's going to be here for.
They did a redraft. He went first round.
There we go.
Who did the redraft? Who did it though?
One of the big CBS or something.
Okay.
We had 3 first rounders.
So I really want that. Or I think he'll be there. While Anzalone did have a good year for Anzalone. Is it Anzalone or Anzalone?
It's Anzalone.
Okay, so Loney. I don't need him on our team. And there's the linebacking class is so deep. So this is kind of a cop-out. I'll give you the one I want. I want Levante David because I know he's old. So is Bobby Wagner.
They're both 33.
I want to win a playoff game this year, and I think this team going into opening day should have a shot at making the NFC title game in this conference. So I think I'm not saying it's like a win now Super Bowl. I still have question marks about that. We have a lot to prove still, but I'm okay taking an old guy and just solidifying. He came off one of his best years last year, but I would say between Levante, Bobby Wagner, or Edmonds. Those 3 are my bucket of like I would love for one of them to be a line. My preference would be Levante David if you said I could have any of them because I think he'll be cheaper and shorter year contract because he's getting old. So if it doesn't work out great, it's not going to hurt us in the long run.
I would agree. I would love all 3 of them.
That's just my thoughts on that.
You kind of took 3 guys right there. It wasn't really exactly fair.
So I think we should do, you guys go your guy that you want, and then we'll circle back around for guy you do not want.
Okay. I want
your mom.
Oh!
Bert.
I'll let him go.
Whoa! We just railed him so hard.
I was going to take one of the 3 linebackers, and you said all 3 of them. So you cheated.
I offered you to go
I think I'm
first.
going to go interior defensive lineman. The number one name that's out there now that Payne has been franchise tagged and signed to a mega contract. This guy's going to get a mega contract. This is if we pay like Brad Holmes, like wake up, like restructure the contracts like everyone else is doing. It
is weird that we haven't done anything yet.
Mind blowing that we haven't done anything.
Evan's waiting for that Taylor Decker restructure so bad.
Yes. But mine's Javon Hargrave. Just a menace inside.
Menace.
He is a menace.
And they don't need
He's
him.
very good. They don't have enough cap. Well, technically, if they get rid of Slade, they probably will have enough cap to bring him back. But just somebody interior that's a 3-down defensive lineman, hard to move, captain up front, just can stick there, play the 1 or 3 tech, and that will help out your young linebackers too. The whole front 7 gets better just with the animal in between the guards.
He's so big, 6'2", 305.
He moves quickly. He's been playing with the Eagles for I don't know how many years now, but he is getting better every single year. And from the year that he had this year, he keeps on flying up like the free agency like priority list. So he's due for a mega contract. I just don't know if we're going to give it to him, but dream scenario, I would love it. A guy a little cheaper that I don't mind is Draymond.
Dude, you can't.
Jones.
You guys can't keep taking multiple people.
Yes, we can. Well, go first then next time, buddy.
Go first then, Alex, buddy.
You guys
Draymond
are taking
Jones.
6 guys.
Draymond Green.
Another interior defensive lineman.
He's a pass rusher though.
Who's he play for?
He is at Denver. He is the pass rusher, and I think you can never have enough pass rush. And it'd be going kind of out of our scheme wise, where we have more run stoppers up the middle. But hell, if you can get to the quarterback, I can find you a spot on rundowns too.
So you guys covered the main 2 positions of need.
Alex, you want me to name 2 more people or one person?
No.
Another person we should name?
One note Alex thinks is a big thing to keep an eye on with the restructuring contracts. A lot of that falls on how much ownership is willing to
fork over
give out cash as a form of a signing bonus. Like just put the cash they have. So I don't know how well Ford Motor Company's doing. I don't follow stocks like that. And then also like this is Sheila's time to prove that she's different than her family. And like, yeah, we'll go into a little bit of debt if we have to and finagle our finances so I can give you
You have a
$10 million.
chance to host a playoff game with when Aaron Rodgers gets traded to the Jets in the coming days. Like you are going to host a playoff game. Like go in debt going into the season, do whatever it takes. You basically should just ask Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, like, what do you guys want to do? Like, how much cap do you need? And then you figure it out. That's what
they used Inside the Den to do basically a half-hour commercial on how great Sheila is. So I would enjoy
she does
for her to just.
She probably told him to do that.
I don't. She doesn't seem like the type.
But everybody's already done it. Like, wait, hey Lions, why can't let's do the same thing?
Yeah, well, maybe we will.
It's all about how cash-strapped your owners are. So, Alex, without further ado,
just looking at the list.
Who's your guy?
I wanted to say safety, but then I was like, well, I keep forgetting Tracy Walker's still on the team.
No, you can say
play
safety.
Last year. You think
You're
so?
telling me you wouldn't take Jesse Bates right now?
That was my name. I would like to have him. I think it'd be nice, but I don't think we need him, so I'm not going to say him.
Every team needs a Jesse Bates. Every team needs a Poyer.
Poyer's a little old for me. How about David Long, linebacker from Tennessee?
Solid pick.
Incredible penetrator and run stopper.
Incredible penetrator?
Mm-hmm.
Good for him.
Yeah. Excellent blitzer and great tackler, which is what we stink at, tackling. You watch Anzalone blow his million tackles, I'm sure this guy's better.
I'm down with that. I'm down with almost any linebacker we take.
Kind of sucks at coverage, though.
I saw a name on a board that this is deep in the weeds, but there was a guy, I think he used to play for San Fran, Aziz Al-Shair. And just from watching their games, I feel like
playoffs.
I always see him fly around. Like, even if we got a guy like that to stick next to Rodriguez, that'd be sweet.
Your thoughts on edge rushers? Thoughts on the corners? They're all old.
Well, there's one. My honorable mention would be Dean. I basically want us to get one of the Bucs players, Jamel Dean or Levante David. I would love to see in the Honolulu Blue. Two guys that won a Super Bowl. They know what it takes. They're veteran leaders. We just lost Michael Brockers,
Dean's only 26,
who was our veteran guy. But I do know a lot of front offices are weird about paying cornerbacks that are getting older. He's 26 though, so there's no excuses.
He's the youngest corner. Not the best available. Apparently that's James Bradbury.
This is a hot take. Hot take based on how you guys were on board. I kind of wrote down Jesse Bates as a guy, not that I don't want, but I wouldn't, like, I would be excited, don't get me wrong, Evan, but in terms of positions we're weakest at, I think it's just building on a strength. I building a strength and we already have. I think Kirby's good, and I think Tracy's going to come back with a vengeance, so I think we are okay there. It doesn't hurt to add him, but if I had to allocate my cap, I'd rather go get your Hargrave than I would go get a Jesse Bates. No offense to Jesse Bates. He's a great player and has proven playoff success.
My thing for that is just like you get Jesse Bates, you fix your scheme just in like the dime packages, nickel packages. Now you have Tracy Walker running with the bigger tight ends, bigger wide receivers. Now you have two ball hawk safeties, one guy a little younger, one guy an all-pro that can do it all. Now you don't have slower secondary backups in there. Now you have basically three starters in there on your defense starting at all times.
And we did use Deshaun Elliott a lot, and he's probably going to be gone, I would imagine.
I think Tracy Walker is a proven tackler where he'll play down in the box. He led our team in tackles, I think, 2 years ago. So,
which is true. An indictment on our run defense.
And then we can rely on our cornerbacks less. Maybe we don't go buy a big corner, we buy a big safety.
We drafted a big corner because Jeff Okudah sucks. Anyways,
Why?
I have a player that I don't want.
But I understand, Grant, your point of why we don't really need a safety. They're changing your whole scheme based off of one safety, but I do love him.
He's a good player.
Alex,
you want to go first for don't want? All right.
Yeah. Might be controversial because we all wanted him last year. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I do not want.
What?
Hoyer was like on Good Morning Football.
Undersized.
Does he play safety or corner? He plays corner,
He's
right?
the slot corner.
Like a slot corner.
Do you want to talk about a guy that like would fit so well in Detroit of like trash talking, like getting in people's heads? This is
I just
the guy.
think he's a little much.
I have his rookie card, so I'm fully invested in CGJ.
He's a little much. I don't know. I don't know. He just seems like he's got a lot of baggage, and he's not some big tackler. He's just an undersized safety corner. It's like, it reminds me of like when we paid that one dude from Seattle to be a nickel corner, and
I know what you're talking about.
we dropped a bag on a nickel corner, and it went horrendously. Coleman,
he was ready to
he was like top 5 free agent.
He was number one.
Roby Coleman? Not Roby Coleman.
No. He was like good in Seattle as a nickel corner, and we paid him like a outside corner, and he just wasn't very good. I don't want to make that mistake with an undersized corner and expect him to be a safety or whatever. I don't even know what position he plays.
Justin Coleman.
Coleman. That was a terrible.
The quote is a high price bust in Detroit from MLive, March 23.
So I'm scarred by that. And undersized safety corners, I don't want them.
That's fair. All right, you have a good reason. Evan?
Any tight end. Dalton Schultz, don't want. Hayden Hurst,
Why?
don't want. Mike Gesicki, don't want. It just, you look at it, I don't think we're in the market. I think they're happy with the no names, but there's going to be fans out there saying, we have to go get our pass catcher. We have to go. Dalton Schultz is the man, dude. Or Mike Gesicki, look how big this dude is. No, we're not allocating our cap space for an overpriced tight end that in our scheme, almost anybody, and it's proven as soon as we got rid of Hawkinson, any tight end can get production out of it. Any tight end. Do your job and we'll find you.
Agreed with Evan.
If cap space is just the way that our cap is falling out, we need to fix our defense. Tight end, as we've seen, is our last priority on the roster.
Yeah. If you want a tight end, do it in the draft at some point.
Yes.
Like later. If you want one in the system.
I don't need to go out
my last one that I think we all agree with, I do not want Odell Beckham on my football team.
Didn't even know that would even be a possibility. I thought that was such a no that we all just assumed.
We did not. We were not one of the teams that were there. He tried out. And he was
his tryout. Did you see his tryout? He did look really good. But he wants $20 million a year.
Well, cap's going to go up.
And he's an absolute prick on airplanes and made everyone get off of first class. So I just don't want the guy on my football team.
What about Leighton Vander Esch?
He's too slow. He's got neck problems. As a linebacker, he's got neck
There's a lot of
injuries.
linebackers out there.
Is he just Alex Anzalone light?
I don't know.
He was good his first 2 years out of college.
Our Ramsey trade happened today. I think the immediate reaction from everyone, myself included, was like, wow, it only took a 3rd-round pick and a tight end on their team that I'd never heard of.
Yeah.
But then I stepped back. I read some tweets. I think this just chalks up to a case of Jalen Ramsey did not want to be in Detroit. There's a tweet from Cameron Wolf, who's an NFL reporter. He said, cannot understate how badly Jalen Ramsey wanted to be in Miami. His agent joked Ramsey was going to fire him yesterday if he didn't get him to the Dolphins. Dolphins called his agent this morning, and despite interest from a few teams, they got Ramsey for his preferred destination and new money. And there was also a report.
Help a guy out that helped us situation. I think the Rams were just willing to help Ramsey, like the Lions helped Stafford.
Yeah, and it said that if Jalen was traded to a team he didn't want to go to, probably the Lions, that we were going to have to pay significantly more money than for his next contract than the Dolphins will have to. So it's just a case where like you can't really do anything about it. So some things are out of your control. This one I felt like was out of our control. We tried. It said we tried.
Yeah.
Jordan Schultz reported we were interested and we tried, but the Dolphins were A1 from the start, and it happened.
Can live with it.
So it is cheap though. The not the money. The capital, they had to give up a 3rd-round pick and a no-name tight end.
Nothing.
Very cheap. Very cheap.
We sat on this podcast, Evan, you weren't on that one, but we talked about multiple 1st-round picks.
And Okuda. You guys want to get Okuda out the door. Like, Okuda is better than Hunter Long, I think.
I don't know who Hunter Long is.
I don't know. Exactly. It could be a for all I know.
Rams got fleeced.
Oh, that's good. Didn't think I was going to hear that name today. That's good.
Evan, I'll tee you up for the first one on this next question. This is the voicemail.
Okay.
So you'll hear that right now if I decide to put it in. But essentially, it is, if you're the Detroit Lions, do you go after Lamar Jackson this year?
Oh my God.
Get Lamar this year.
Yes.
Or draft someone this year. Do you try to get him after this? Sorry, blanking. Oh, after his. Oh, or Ben saying, do you wait to try next year when his franchise tag is up? Which I think, though, you're going to have to move this. Again. Yeah, so I think it has to be either this year or draft someone. Or are you doing any of those options, Evan?
I don't want anything to do with Lamar Jackson. I think he's overrated.
Hater.
You don't want to hang out with him?
He can't win in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hasn't.
Well, he beat your Titans.
He did beat my Titans once. Lion Candles Titans.
Confirmed.
And over like the last 3 years, I mean, he has less touchdowns and about equal amount of turnovers with Kirk Cousins.
Elite quarterback.
Kirk
and
O'Shea.
I don't think our scheme, what Ben Johnson and Jared Goff have going for us,
It's so good.
that I don't why break it up
Quick speed.
to change our entire system around a guy that has accuracy problems.
And listen to you guys both say no when all the first
I don't
7
like Lamar
games
Jackson.
of last year and the year before, if this opportunity came up, you guys would blow your load over it and you would want it.
No, I'm not.
Grant talks about how he wants a quarterback who's mobile every single week during
I want
the
a
season.
mobile quarterback, but I want to draft that quarterback.
You're running
I do
out
not
of
want
time
to
to
ruin.
draft a quarterback.
I will not ruin my team's cap space by overpaying for a quarterback that has proven he can't win.
He's like 25 years old, Evan.
He's been in the league for what? How many years? 4?
4? And you're already... So Josh Allen is proven he can't win.
No, Josh Allen has proven he can win. He's won more playoff games than Lamar Jackson already has.
Really? What, 2 to 1?
Yes.
I think the Bills won.
Bills beat the Patriots.
They lost this year in their first game.
They beat the Dolphins.
Oh, they got to play the
Beat the
Dolphins. Like Skylar Thompson. Huge win for Josh Allen's legacy.
Was Lamar Jackson's Ryan Tannehill? Congrats.
The biggest thing with Lamar
Just
is the
saying,
problem
you
is
can't
that
act like he can't win. Like he'll never be a winner. It's not
the biggest problem is that
He's overrated.
what we
My opinion, he's
believe
overrated, and the cap is not worth it.
we
Won the
believe
MVP.
we
An
believe
overrated MVP, Alex.
We
are led to
electrifying in college. Evan.
yeah,
Bring up his past. Congrats, you did that at Louisville against ACC teams that don't matter. Congrats, you did against Virginia.
The team that won the national championship. Clemson.
He lost that game. He lost that game against Clemson. Congrats.
Lost
by like a
Congrats.
point.
Congrats.
Lost like
Congrats.
a point. They also blew Clemson out by like 50.
I love this. Lamar Jackson
Lamar
is going to be a
Jackson
sticking
sucks.
point for this show moving forward.
I don't get it. I don't get why you guys hate him. It's cheap. The price is cheap.
2 first-round picks is cheap.
For an MVP quarterback in his prime, it's unheard of.
A crybaby that won't do anything for the team.
Where are you even getting these narratives? Everything I've heard from like on podcasts of like NFL experts say he's like the ultimate team guy and all he cares about is winning.
I'm not going to speculate on that because I don't really know. Never been in a locker room with Lamar. I do know.
Okay, Alex, before Grant gets here, let me ask you this. Why do wide receivers never want to play for him?
I don't think that's a Lamar
Hollywood
thing.
Brown requested a trade away from Baltimore.
Who does?
Hollywood Brown requested a trade away from Baltimore.
Because of Baltimore's shit system. I mean, I don't think that's...
That shit
Lamar's
system
fault.
you have to bring with Lamar because he's a running back.
He can throw the ball pretty well.
His accuracy is worse than Jared Goff.
Jared Goff's accuracy was incredibly high this year because he throws 5-yard passes.
It is tough.
This
I
same
don't know
Lamar
if-
Jackson is the one that the 2-14
Can you at least...
Lions
Lamar
team
Jackson
almost
is
beat.
better than Jared Goff.
The 2-14 Lions team almost beat. Currently, right now, no, Jared Goff would play better for the Lions than Lamar Jackson would. I don't want Lamar Jackson in his $50 million cap hit plus $300 million.
You got to get over the whole pay thing, Evan. You're going to have to pay
Alex, you
good
have
players.
to build a team. It's not one guy can't do it for you. One guy cannot do it for you.
The quarterback can do it for you.
The pay
One
thing
quarterback
is...
can do it.
Ask Josh Allen how that's going.
Ask Patrick.
He has a complete team.
Bottom
as a
10
Hall of Fame
defense
tight
every
end.
year.
That is false. Bottom 10. So they're 20 through 32. They're 22
Yes.
through 32.
The
That's
pay
just a
thing...
lie. That's just a lie.
I love this. The pay thing
Evan's
is
got
the
a
problem.
lot of energy worked up from not being on the show in a while.
Lamar Jackson's overrated.
The pay thing is the problem, and the fact that he doesn't have an agent is the problem. I understand the 2 picks is not a lot for a guy like this. It's just we were led to believe he wants the deal that Deshaun Watson got, and you just can't do that, and that's why no one's going after him right now. They're trying to prove a point that you cannot get that type of money, and that's where I'm like tough. And the thing I keep thinking of is that yes, he can make accurate throws, but the reason he is who he is because of his legs, and that only is going to go downhill sooner than later. Like there's no.
I wouldn't say it's soon. Like I don't think in the next 2 years he's going to not be able to run. But if that's how you guys view it,
it's just the 230 like guaranteed. Like you just can't do that. And if that's what he wants, and his mom's his agent, I don't know what's going to happen. Like his mom is his agent. I just.
he's one of the top 10 best young up-and-coming quarterbacks in the NFL, and we're acting like he is Peyton Manning on the Broncos in his last season dog shit.
I do think he's top 10. I just think like the money he's asking for is out of control.
Out of control? Kyler Murray's little twerp ass gets paid that much.
I know that was a mistake.
I wouldn't have paid Kyler Murray that money.
Yeah,
Like,
Lamar's
if
way
we
better
were-
than Kyler.
If we were
I
Arizona,
won't pay Lamar
we-
Jackson.
He's better than Deshaun.
Deshaun Watson
Agreed.
has off-the-field issues
that
that,
was-
nobody should touch. He's a predator. He's a menace to society that shouldn't be out in
Agreed.
public alone.
The mistake that these teams made is they didn't follow the Mahomes-Allen blueprint. They went like way above it. And like the fact that Deshaun Watson makes $100 million more guaranteed than Mahomes is absurd. And if that's what Lamar wants, you just can't do that. You just can't repeat that.
You're
That's the
supposed
problem.
to just one up everybody by like a couple million. That's what, and just keep on stacking it. And then the Deshaun Watson thing happened, and then it blew it out of proportion.
Like, I don't blame Lamar for wanting it. He is better. He should ask for it. But then you're going to have teams what they're doing now where they're like, we're just not going to touch it because we have to prove a point that we're not going to do that again, or else we're going to be screwed going forward.
Evan, you blow your load over Justin Fields. Lamar is that, but 10 times better.
I just think Justin Fields was in a bad situation last year.
You just can't sit here and tell me Justin Fields is going to be awesome and then not realize that Lamar's available and 10 times better than Justin Fields already.
I'll take Justin Fields over Lamar Jackson because he's a lot cheaper. Give me that rookie contract with the 5th-year option right now. He's still got 3 more years left of him. 4 years if we franchise tag him.
Alex, if you told me that Lamar would take Josh Allen's contract, I would do it in a second.
I get it. You guys don't want...
There's
I am
3
the Jared
quarterbacks
Goff ringleader in this podcast, and I'm the one saying that I would want an MVP quarterback on the team.
There's 3 quarterbacks worth that money. There's only 3 quarterbacks worth that money.
The market's always going to keep changing, and it's always going to keep going up.
I understand that.
Jared Goff's deal 2 years ago
He's not. Lamar Jackson's not worth that money.
We'll find out.
Jared Goff has been more to conference championships than Lamar Jackson has. Blake Bortles has been to more conference championships than Lamar Jackson has.
He's played 4 full seasons as a starter, Evan.
I think Blake Bortles did it in his year 4.
It's not all on Lamar that the Ravens haven't won.
You just said that you think that one quarterback can do it for a team.
Yeah.
So why can't he do it for the Ravens?
Because he's playing against the number 1. There's 2 guys in the AFC that are better than him.
Now you're backtracking. Now you are backtracking.
I would pay Patrick Mahomes $800 million guaranteed.
That's why I said there's only 3 quarterbacks worth it. It's Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, and Joe Burrow. Those are the only 3 quarterbacks worth it.
Agreed. Well,
Josh
to
Allen
be continued.
Aren't you guys worried about that?
He's got a different type of arm.
His accuracy is poop.
Well, because he broke his elbow in the middle of the year.
Oh, God. So we have 8,000 excuses for Josh Allen, but...
He's just made better throws than Lamar's made.
You guys don't want an MVP quarterback. I get it. I understand.
Not yet. MVP quarterback.
And then just so you know, your window to find one of these MVP level quarterbacks is closing because the better you are, the worse draft picks you're going to get.
We got a wheeler and dealer as our GM. We'll be fine. This is a to be continued debate. This show is about March Madness.
Jared Goff.
I'll have Jared.
It just feels like his cap now. Love his cap now.
Evan's just a money guy. He wants to just be the Oakland A's and see if we can just spend no money and win.
I would like to fix our run defense first before we worry about our offense, because our offense last year was not the problem.
As mentioned, this is why I don't want Bijan Robinson. But, Evan, you were not on that show, and you missed that heated debate.
To be continued. We got a bracket to fill.
Well, if you watch his highlight tape, you're going to want
Take a deep breath.
He's good.
And it's awesome.
Right now.
I'll take him at 18. Don't worry, bud.
Thank you, Christian McCaffrey.
When Jamal Williams walks, everybody's going to be wanting him.
The only point I want to make, though, in defense of Evan, is that the money. I understand for some things I disagree with Evan about the cap, but this case, you have to understand there are like 7 other owners that are actively saying they agree with Evan. Like, we're not touching this because of the money that's commanding. So that's the one where I think it gets
the
passed
biggest
on this one.
Pieces of shit in the NFL. So that's another whole entire.
What has Jerry Jones ever done? I'm just kidding.
Sheila's like one of the better owners. She's like normal.
Well, she won't fork over signing bonus money, so we can't restructure our cap.
Because she's really trying to figure out how to get Lamar, Evan. And I know you're going to flip. When we get him, you'll flip.
I'll start
if we get him, I will be a Lamar Jackson #1 fan.
Nope.
He leads us to the Super Bowl, Evan.
He ain't going to lead us to the Super Bowl because he can't win in the playoffs.
You're right. And Jared Goff can.
Yes. Proven winner. He actually won an NFC championship.
Ever on his way to that Super Bowl.
NFC championship.
He lit it up. 100 yards passing.
NFC championship.
All right.
Lit it up.
Everyone, I want everyone to take a deep breath. Think about Jim Nance. And we have a bracket to fly. We're at about an hour and a half. So we got to make double time on this bracket. We might lose our bracket challenge this year, but we're going to get through it.
No, I won last year, so.
I should have led with this and then gone into all the extras.
Well, that was good. You can't buy that type of passion. So, in order to speed it up, Evan, are you comfortable being the tiebreaker guy? Is anyone comfortable being the tiebreaker guy for every single one if it comes to it?
Every single one would love it.
I'll do it.
Because I think the best way to do it is like I'll just say mine first, then Alex, then you, just so it's consistent. So
Alex, which 2 brackets do you want to be the tiebreaker for, and which 2 brackets do you want me to be a tiebreaker for?
Give me the left side. Like you can have the right.
Well, I'm starting
all in order, so just tell me.
Yeah. South and East is Evan, and then Midwest and West is Alex.
Well, I'm South and East, so I got
Midwest and West.
are you? You go third. I'll go first on all of them.
Okay.
Hold on. I need to bracket up.
You don't know it by heart already? Come on.
All right. Well, the first one is Alabama in the 16. We're going to put Alabama into the round of 32. That seems pretty easy. The next game is Maryland, West Virginia. I'm going to go with West Virginia because I'm fading the Big Ten if I think it's close.
So this is Evan.
No, this is you.
This is
I'm the
Alex.
tiebreaker.
I said I wanted the left side.
No, you are tiebreaker for Midwest and West.
This is the
South.
tiebreaker.
So you're going second in this bracket, Alex. Every single pick.
Okay. I'll take West Virginia.
Let's set the rules for those who don't know. Everyone gets one override for the entire bracket.
Yes. Evan blew
you can
his last year.
I did not blow it. What did I blow it on?
UCLA.
You said West Virginia, Alex?
Yep.
Evan, if it's already decided, like in this case, you can still just say your pick.
That's fine.
Right.
I have no pick there because I don't know who to pick.
The gross game. I don't want to.
There's some of these games on here I will not pick. I just hopefully it figures itself out.
All right. For this next one, San Diego State, Charleston, 5-12. This is my 12 for now. I like Charleston. They haven't lost a game since 2023 when it's just started, in January. So I think they're really good. And San Diego State's a Midwest team or a Mountain West team. You fade those teams.
Aztecs.
Charleston.
Yes.
I knew everyone was going to go there.
I watched San Diego State and Utah State last night. Was it last night?
I knew your
Yes,
thoughts
it was.
on them.
It was
in
last
the group
night.
chat. Mountain West stinks.
Mountain West does stink. I don't think they've won a game in the last 4 tournaments, or they're 0-4 in their last 2 tournaments, something weird like that. They do not deserve a 5 seed from what I watched. They're just a bunch of athletes, but they struggle to score the ball. And Charleston did play I think Alabama. Well, I don't know if it was Alabama. They
Some
played
good teams.
4
I don't know how you guys know so
Power 5
much
teams.
about Charleston, but
very well. They're 31-4 on the year, I think.
30-3.
Close enough.
Number 4, Virginia, 13, Furman. As much as I would like to fade Virginia, I think in this spot, I'm just going to play it safe and go Virginia.
Agreed. Virginia. But Virginia is gross to watch. Disgusting basketball.
Their defense first. Tony Bennett, man. Packline defense.
It's awful.
For the record, Evan, who would you like in this game?
I would pick Virginia. They did burn me the year they lost to the Retrievers, but it's just hard to cheer against a coach that you plan most of your defensive philosophy around.
Creighton, NC State. I got Creighton. I think they got a lot of talent on their team.
Creighton
as well. NC State doesn't deserve to be in there.
Nope.
Baylor, UCSB, 314. I like Baylor despite how many losses they have. They got a really good guard who's a freshman. I think that at least gets you a win over the Gauchos.
They've been butt lately, but agreed. They're not losing to UC. I feel like UC, is it UC Santa Barbara?
Yeah, I took them last year and they lost.
I was going to say, people pick them every year.
Yeah.
North
I do
Carolina,
like that they have...
Sorry to interrupt. North Carolina will not accept an invitation to the NIT.
Hell yeah,
Makes
blue
sense.
blood. Yeah, because I do like, though, with teams like that, they're back-to-back NCAA tournament appearances because that means the lights will not be too big for the Gauchos. So maybe they do pull off the upset. We'll see.
No, Baylor.
Missouri, Utah State. I know we talked about fading the Mountain West. This is the team I think wins because of the unique style they play of whapping threes. I think that's going to be too much for Missouri, and they win.
Missouri plays the exact same way, and they're also one of the best offenses in the country, Grant.
But their
Watch
defense
basketball.
Their
Missouri.
defense is way worse.
The Tigers.
Missouri's defense is way worse.
I got Missouri as well. Like I said, did watch that San Diego State Utah State game. Was gross to watch. Utah State was tired. They had tired legs. They played 3 games in a row. Short turnaround base of midnight to 3 o'clock their time. Missouri's
Where's the game at?
That is in Sacramento, California.
Favorite Utah State.
What a pull.
Because Arizona's a 2 seed, they get to play in Sacramento.
Right. Easy. Arizona.
I got Missouri. Arizona, yes.
Arizona.
Princeton,
Purdue.
Purdue.
Alex Pierce's brother plays on Princeton.
Really?
Wow. Fun fact.
Yes.
Go Colts. Memphis, FAU. I know FAU has only 3 losses on the year, but Memphis has that guy, Kendrick Davis, who used to play at SMU, who's a dog, and I think they're just better without Amani Bates. So I'll take Memphis in this first game.
Florida Atlantic.
Oh,
Evan.
I'm just reading the numbers. Florida Atlantic's all over that.
I'll take Memphis. I'm with Grant. I think conference competition,
31-3.
more athletes. Not always about your record.
I know.
I like that because I feel like
3 is impressive no matter where you are.
Yes.
I like that because I think Memphis has a better chance to beat Purdue. So I like us having them go.
I do think that matches up better.
Duke Oral Roberts. I have the Oral Robbies in this because I think the Shire just came off a massive milestone of winning the conference tournament. I think this is where it's going to be like a reversal of people going, wow, Coach K, we took him for granted. I think they lose to Oral Roberts. This Oral Roberts team has also only lost like less than a handful of times this entire year.
They're actually really good.
And they know what it takes.
Tough matchup. But I just feel like I have to pick Duke.
I'm picking Duke. I think Duke's playing too good right now. Like Alex, I think they won 9 in a row. They ran through the ACC tournament. Any style of play
Oral
that they
Roberts'
wanted to run.
defense is 107th, Grant. That's pretty bad.
Oh, yeah, Duke.
The Dukies!
Tennessee, Louisiana.
Tennessee in a close one.
I know nothing about Louisiana. I'm going to take Louisiana because of the injury to Tennessee.
You can't just keep doing this.
I'm going to put the pressure on Evan.
Tennessee.
I got Tennessee just based off of defense.
They're the number 1 defensive team in the country.
Raging Cajun. They do put up a good amount of points, almost 80 points per game, but they're also almost giving up 70, where Tennessee's only giving up 58 per game. So I like Tennessee in just an absolute
gross game.
Gross barn burner. It's in Orlando. No team really has the home court advantage, though.
Next game, 6-11, I got Kentucky against Providence.
Kentucky.
This is the ultimate. I don't know if you guys had the audio on when you were watching it, but Providence's number 1 dude, like they're transferred from Kentucky.
I did hear that. But I think Providence sucks.
That's fascinating.
So they'll probably win, but I'm taking Kentucky.
Kansas State, Montana State. Kansas State lost to Butler. I have Montana State in this one.
Dude. Grant's got all double digits everywhere.
And Montana State made the tournament back-to-back years, so the lights will not be too bright for them against a 3 seed that lost to Butler.
But Kansas State has a great story on a guy that passed out on the court and now has come back and is their best player. So
Butler's less than 500 and beat this team by like 20 points at home.
Kansas State for me.
Evan, do the right thing.
But they don't get any further.
Yeah, right. This is a fun one, Evan, because Kansas State is not making the Sweet 16. Let's ride Big Sky.
3 seeds are 19-1 in this seed matchup. 85% win percentage against 14 seeds.
19-2 after this weekend.
Is this your Abilene Christian?
Big Sky, let's ride.
Big Sky, let's ride. I'll go with Grant.
Wow.
Yes, I have no cheering in. I just when the brackets were getting released and I'm seeing all these teams get seeds, I said to myself, Michigan State would beat Kansas State.
Yeah.
100%.
Agreed.
So I'll go with
Montana State can beat them too.
Yes.
Now we have the Spartan Dogs, Michigan State, USC.
12:15 Friday on CBS.
12:15. We can spend a little bit of time.
Bill Raftery.
There's a chance we get them because Purdue is also at the same location on Columbus.
Great.
My pick is Michigan State. The only thing I would say that you'd be nervous about is one, they do have USC has a lead guard who is very good in guards win in March, and 2, you have not a unicorn type player, but it is weird to have a 6'9" forward that leads your team in assists. So he's going to be a little weird matchup wise for somebody, but I think if Malik Hall brings his defensive game, you'll be fine. Michigan State is poised to beat USC.
Didn't we play Oregon, Alex?
This year, yeah.
With
no Akins, no Hall. And Pierre Brooks scored 18.
And you won in overtime?
Might have been overtime, might have been just before. We blew
Colby was at your house. It was late at night.
USC lost to Oregon by 18, and they also lost by Wisconsin by 5. Ooh. There's 2 common opponents.
Wisconsin sucks.
12:15, 9:15 tip-off for USC.
There's a lot of variables in our favor.
In Columbus, basically, we're driving down for an Ohio State game.
Should have a lot of fans.
I loved this matchup when it got announced. But like, if you look at the stats. No, I'm fearful. I think Marquette's going to run us off the court. If you look at the stats, we're basically identical. I mean, they have a better conference record, but points per game, we're averaging 70. They're averaging about 73. Opponents' points per game, they're giving up 67.3. We're giving up 67.4. So we're 51% right now as the decision. Similar games, though, we have the advantage there, 66%. Nationwide Arena, I do like us in this matchup. Now, granted, I don't know much about USC besides what you guys said and just a couple minutes here and there. They did upset UCLA.
The rivalry
happens.
But I just like our location, and the fuel of the fire. We're not too high. We're coming off some down, so backs against the wall right now.
Ken Pom says we're slightly better in offense and slightly better in defense, and we are much more battle-tested than this team. It's a home game, and they have to do the whole time change thing. This is revenge for all the football losses we've taken on the West Coast.
This is a future Big Ten matchup.
Yes, it is.
It's a win.
It's electric. All right. Marquette, Vermont. I got Marquette. Vermont's good, though.
Vermont's not as good as they used to be, guys. This is a 10-loss basketball team that is not that good.
They lost to St. Mary's by 26. Yeah, Marquette.
Yeah, this is not a normal Vermont team.
Okay, Alex, now you'll be going third. Evan, you'll be going second.
Oh, yes.
We got Houston easy.
Yep.
Against Northern Kentucky. Iowa, Auburn, a great game. I'll go Auburn.
I got Auburn too. Auburn will actually try to play defense, unlike Iowa, and I am not picking Fran McCaffrey.
This is a game of Iowa is like the best offense in the country. Auburn is the best defense, and then the opposite for both is like bottom 5 terrible. Like Auburn can't score points, and Iowa can't play a lick of defense. So it'd be interesting to see if offense or defense wins.
You'd say defense every time.
I would personally think Iowa's gonna just like light it up.
Also,
and then light up Houston.
Home game for Auburn. It's in Birmingham, Alabama at the Legacy Arena.
That could hurt.
Home game.
Michigan State lost at LCA.
No. Still not over it. Still not over it.
Another juicy 5-12. Miami Drake. Young Grant used to love watching the Drake Bulldogs in the tournament, but they're not that team. Miami is athletic, and they're a battle-tested team. Miami wins this 5-12.
Great guard plays in Ali Jafar in the tournament. I like Miami.
I'm a huge fade Miami guy in this tournament, so I'm probably going to be overriding them losing later, but I'll let them win now.
Indiana, Kent State out of the MAC. We cannot let Indiana off the hook for blowing back-to-back years of an all-Indiana Big Ten tournament. They just absolutely choke in the Big Ten tournament every single year. They've never won it. They've made the final one time, an absolute disgrace for them. But they do win this game, so good for the Hoosiers.
Ooh, I got my upset. They have one NBA player for sure. Kent State does.
This actually could be a upset. Now I'm looking at the results of Kent State. Houston.
I don't know anything.
Wow.
They played tough against Charleston, lost by 2. Gonzaga only lost by 7. Grant's favorite team, Houston, only lost by 5. Fully healthy early in the year. Kent State team's no joke. The only problem with them is I think they only run like 6 or 7 deep. They might only run like 6 guys deep. They're just out there the entire time. However, Kent State will score the ball against anybody against them. They're averaging almost 77 points per game. So I like Kent State in the upset there. I think Indiana.
Oh my God.
Role players. If the role players show up, then yes. But if you're just relying on Trish Davis and the freshmen, it might be a long game. It might be a track meet, but it might be a long game. I like Kent State.
Kent State has a top 40 defense on Ken Pom.
Do it, Alex. Just ask yourself, can you see Indiana in the Final Four? And if so, then you should probably have them advance.
Indiana wins because I just think Trace Jackson Davis is going to be too much.
Trace Jackson Davis is a dude. He is a dude.
It's just going to be too much.
Every time I see him go off, every team, I'm just like, why couldn't you just like transfer like someone?
He almost did. He almost came here. Oh my God, that was electric.
6-11 Iowa State, winner of Mississippi State or Pitt. I have the winner of whoever the game is.
This is a game I will not watch a second of it. I do not care about this.
Such a gross game.
I already tried to fill out a bracket what we probably potentially will pick. And I did pick this game because I don't care about this game.
I got the 11 because
Pitt
I just don't
sucks.
understand how
Mississippi
Iowa
State
State
sucks.
is ranked so high.
Iowa State's beaten Baylor 3 times. I know that.
I am going to pick Iowa State because they do play a really good defense. They're the number one defensive team in the Big 12, so I'm picking Iowa
Pitt
State.
and Mississippi State are so shitty that I'm going to pick Iowa State.
All right, but be careful because on the other side, then you have to pick 11 because an 11 from the first 4 always makes the second round.
That's not true.
That is true.
I don't think it happened last year.
Xavier, Kennesaw State. I hate Xavier, so I'll take Kennesaw State. Let you guys decide this
Xavier
one. I just
is
don't like
overrated.
Xavier.
I do not like Xavier, but
I think they suck.
I don't think Kennesaw State can match with Xavier.
This is their first
Kennesaw State
tournament in their life.
Kennesaw State
program.
lost to
This is
they
also
lost to San Diego State by 34, so you might want to take Xavier.
Yeah,
Oh, God. BPI rank 134.
They're dog shit. Xavier.
All right, X.
Lost by Indiana by 14. Oh.
This is a spicy little 7-10 game.
7-10 A&M Penn State. I
Juju
normally
Marbells.
fade the Big Ten, but I love Jalen Pickett's booty ball, so I'm taking Penn State here.
Ooh, I'm taking Buzz Williams and his relentless approach to his energy on the court. So I'm going to take Texas A&M. Should have not have been a 7 seed. They deserve a higher seed. They should have been 6 or 5. Talking about a team that only lost they only lost 2 games or 3 games down the stretch.
They had the 300th rated strength of schedule or something.
Don't care. They ran through the SEC.
I just simply like Penn State. They're a gritty basketball team, so I just like watching them. So I'm taking that.
All right, next 2 versus 15, Texas versus Toothpaste, a.k.a. Colgate. I got the Horns.
100.
Alex, you stay in the 3rd slot here. Kansas, Howard. I got Kansas. Arkansas, Illinois. Juicy matchup. A lot of NBA talent on the floor here. Give me Arkansas because Musbus has done it at least in March before. A little bit. More than Brad Underwood, I think.
You talking about identical teams. Holy crap. Ooh. Arkansas is 2-8 against top 25 teams.
That is tough. And 8-10 in their conference. Oh my God.
UCLA.
They're loved on Ken Palm.
Oh. Illinois beat UCLA and Texas.
Mm-hmm.
That is wild.
They have a lot of talent.
It's just, oh my God.
They were supposed to be good.
I'm going to pick Illinois. I'm going to pick Illinois.
I don't know why. Brad Underwood, Stephen F. Austin train too.
I think Arkansas.
So you guys got Illinois?
Yeah.
Illinois.
I think Arkansas.
That's a good
3
historic
Big Ten
matchup.
Teams 4 Big Ten teams. 5. We have 5.
Too many. No, we don't.
Yes. Michigan State, Indiana, Purdue, Penn State, and Illinois.
That's too many.
I should have vetoed Kent State. They're going to the final. They're going to the Sweet 16.
Kent State to the Final Four.
I missed
16.
I'm not
Sweet
vetoing
16.
that. No.
St. Mary's, VCU.
Another
Let's go,
game
Brandon
I do not care
Johns.
about.
And Michigan. I will take VCU here.
I'll take VCU too because I think St. Mary's is overrated because of the dog crap conference that they play in.
Boom.
I just remember they absolutely piss-pounded Trace Jackson Davis last year by 30.
They don't have that bald guy anymore.
They don't have big dudes.
St.
Mary's
Mary's also
murdered them.
Lost by Houston by only 5.
I think they're pretty
Well,
good.
that's okay.
I would veto,
Well,
but I don't
VCU's in.
care enough about them. So
Neither of them are going to the Final Four, so we're good.
UConn, the Rick Pitino's.
Jesus, Alex.
UConn.
UConn, Iona. I believe Rick is about to be the new St. John's coach. I'm taking Iona here. Rick's due.
Oh, I'm
Do
taking
you think
UConn.
UConn's going to lose first round 2 years in a row?
Yeah, why not?
I'm taking the Hurley matchup. I think Rick Pitino's already recruiting for St. John's. He's already out the door. His players can play inspired, but he could care less. He wants to get his bag.
Yeah, good point. UConn.
I'm picking UConn.
All right, next one, 6-11, TCU, ASU, Nevada. I have TCU because of what they did last year, and a lot of those guys returned, and I don't think any of those 11 seeds are good.
Yeah, the bubble's so shitty. I have to take TCU.
I'll take TCU too. I think Michigan State's better than TCU, but hey, we're here.
Gonzaga, Grand Canyon. It would be cool to see TCU versus GCU, but I think Gonzaga at a 3 seed is a little less overrated than they normally are, so I'll take Gonzaga to win their first game.
I'll take Gonzaga to win their first game.
Yep.
7-10 Northwestern, Boise State. I got Boise State because Michigan swept Northwestern.
Mountain West.
I got Northwestern because Collins is going to be sitting on the court and all force barking again.
Cats Tats. That's 6 Big Ten teams.
Colin's on all fours. It's just a statement and a half.
UCLA.
UCLA in that one. Okay, let's go back to the top. Evan, you're back to going third. Bama, West Virginia. I got Bama.
Bama.
This is a sneaky good redneck rivalry here.
Bama by like 20.
Battle of Nick Saban.
The Charleston Shoes versus Virginia. I got Charleston to be that sleeper that makes it to the Sweet 16.
I agree. I think Virginia sucks.
Well, I'm not a tiebreaker. You guys have Charleston.
I do think it'll be San Diego
I thought you were
State.
thinking about an override.
I do think it'll be
I
San
was
Diego
not going to
State.
override because Alabama's.
I think we're good, though. No one of that team's
Senior-led
making
San
the
Diego
Final Four.
State is going to be in this game, but
Dude,
whatever.
you're such a crap, dude. They suck.
They're good. They're
And
good.
override it, bro. Override it. I dare you.
I can. I already lost.
We can go back.
Creighton, Baylor. I have Creighton. I think they have better guard play, and they have a difference maker. And if you lose to Iowa State 3 times, you don't deserve to make the Sweet 16.
I feel like Creighton and Baylor have played in the tournament recently against each other. Does that ring a bell?
Probably true.
Doug McDermott did, yes. We just talked about it.
Oh,
Neon.
yeah. You're right. I am going to go...
Dude, Kansas
with-
was so good at one point, and then they just fell off. Did they get somebody injured?
Kansas? They're one of their best
Recently.
players.
I'm talking about Baylor. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Oh, they just had a lot of guys graduate. I'm going Creighton, and it's going to be the Baylor Shireman show.
You said you're going Creighton?
Baylor Shireman versus Baylor. I like that.
Yeah, he's gonna go nuts. He's probably gonna drop triple
That's
double.
spicy storyline.
I'll go Creighton.
Hell yeah.
Consensus.
Arizona, Missouri. Missouri lost to Utah State in my mind, so Arizona advances here.
Arizona's good at basketball.
I like Arizona. I like their. I've been practicing this name for this moment. I can't think of it. The Bullets.
Tabulus.
Tabulis. Tabuli. Purdue, Memphis. Evan, you still go third here. I'm going to go Memphis because Purdue's going to lose at some point. I'll just knock them out now.
I worry about Purdue's little freshman guards with Memphis's athleticism. This could be a problem. And Memphis almost beat Gonzaga last year in the second game.
But does Memphis, they don't have Duran, so they have no one to go in. If they had Duran, this team would win it all.
Yeah. I think Purdue holds them off, though.
It's a matchup nightmare that Memphis probably hasn't seen.
Zach Edey, he's just so big.
So big.
He's just really good.
I don't think they've faced a big man like him. No one really can until you see
You
it.
don't know what it's like until you do.
Evan, your call on this one.
An 8 seed has been a 1 seed in each of the last 2 years. However,
Son
1
of a-
seeds are 78.7% win percentage against 8 seeds. I do like
Yeah, they
Purdue,
usually
though.
win.
However, it could be a track meet because Tigers like to push the ball on fast break points.
Mm. All right.
Worried
We got
about
the
Fletcher.
Boilermakers. Congrats on the Boilermakers. They made the Sweet 16.
First Big Ten
Duke,
team in.
Tennessee. Give me Duke.
Give
because
me
Tennessee's-
Duke in a runaway.
Yep, I like
Blake
that.
Barnes cannot make it to the second weekend. Sorry, Alex, I jumped the gun.
That's okay. Duke.
No, you're passionate. Kentucky, Montana State. Big Sky dies. Kentucky goes on.
Kentucky.
Unfortunately. Michigan State, Marquette. This is a
Did
fantastic
you guys
matchup.
see
I wish
Joey Hauser's reaction to when they saw that Marquette was below?
I didn't even think about
No.
Joey Hauser. and
Everybody
Marquette.
looked
wrote
at
that
Joey,
down.
and Joey just started like nodding his head like he's about to give Marquette the
wow. So we have a Hauser revenge game.
I think Joey's dropping 30 in that basketball game.
I'm the same approach I had at USC. I'm very confident Michigan State to win this game. The only thing I would tell you as a fan you worry about is Shaka Smart has done it in the tournament before. So you're like, okay, he knows how to coach in this event, but I'm going to go Michigan State because I think Marquette is a supremely overrated 2 seed.
They looked so bad in the Big East tournament that they won. Couldn't believe it. Oh, man. They're all offense. And our defense has been bad lately. But their defense sucks, and it's a good get right, get your shooting hot game. I think Michigan State wins. I'm a homer.
I read it on this last line of the ESPN preview. The Big East champs run into trouble against paint dominant teams, which you guys aren't.
No, but we're going to light it up in the threes.
If that means they don't have big guys either, which helps you. So I think I'll take your skill guys over their skill guys.
I just don't trust the Big East. I just don't.
2 seeds are 7 and 8 versus 7 seeds in the past 7 tournaments.
Yeah. Been in this
Michigan beat Louisville. We beat Louisville. You guys can beat Marquette easily.
We beat Virginia.
Tom Green's coaching.
Well, this game says we're playing in Indianapolis, which is wrong. We're playing in Columbus, so
We have better home court advantage than them. We're going to travel better. We're a bigger brand. Way better.
Evan, drop the MSU prediction just for fun.
Marquette's going to run away from
This is not Duke. This is not Duke last year, Evan. This is a real
first-year head coach.
Dude,
There's no chance
Marquette is playing too good right now.
You did not watch their St. John's game in the Big East tournament.
Did you watch their UConn game? Did you watch their
Nope.
championship game?
That's where Alex is going to do himself dirty.
Don't care.
So now you're going to talk yourself into beating Kentucky again because we've already beat them.
Yes, Evan.
Now we're playing Purdue, and now you're talking to us beating Purdue. We're not going to.
I have talked myself into
Evan,
a run
if
January.
Michigan State does not make the Final Four, it'd be embarrassing with the draw they have in front of them.
That's extreme.
That's my stance right now. Say it with my chest.
I just think of the year we've had. It's just so up and down. Everyone's like, Izzo's March Magic is dead, blah, 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 blah. And then we finally get a draw that's pretty favorable. We've had a lot of shit draws the last 5 years. Finally get one that looks nice. Everything lines up for us.
This is hurting me for you to say.
No one's picking MSU to beat Marquette, at least the national pundits.
This is hurting my scrotum. This is hurting my scrotum, Alex.
Well, just wait till we pick them over Kentucky. They're already locked in, unless you're overriding. We're moving on to the Cougs.
Are you overriding?
Auburn.
I should.
Marquette.
I should do it just for our sanity.
No.
Evan, just because we pick them in a bracket, it's not going to make a difference in the game.
It is. I'm going to say this is all your effing fault.
Well, no, when we lose, you blame Graham because he guaranteed it.
No, when we
and every
lose,
time
I
he does
you.
that,
Final Four a bust.
You're
Houston,
such a piece of shit sometimes.
Houston, Auburn.
Ooh,
it's a tough game. Tough game for the Cougs.
It would be Iowa win.
Auburn's lead guard is really small, and that's just going to be tough through the big monsters of Houston, so Houston wins this game.
I think the pressure is... Oh, are we switching now? I'm the third guy?
Yep.
Yes. Evan goes second.
I like Houston.
Yes.
I think there's going to be just so much pressure for Houston to get to a Final Four in Houston, and they're going to slip up. But we'll let them go. I'm overriding them at some point, there's no doubt. But I hate that part of the region because all those teams suck.
Miami, Indiana 4 versus 5. Because we didn't feel good about Indiana, I'm going to go Miami. No, I'm pivoting back. I'm going Indiana because I'm reading that Miami has a lack of size on their roster. They had their miracle run last year, and they lost to Maryland by 18, which I cannot accept. So I'm going Indiana.
2.
I don't want to pick because I have Kent State in this matchup, so I'm picking Miami.
Miami's so fluky. I have no trust in them. So Indiana. 3 teams in the Sweet 16 from the Big Ten. Look at us go.
Yeah, well, that's because you... Wait, how did Indiana go? I thought we both picked... Oh, Evan, you wanted to pick... You could have stopped it. You could have picked Kent State.
Yeah.
Or wait, no.
Could
I pick Indiana?
I
think
Indiana.
I messed up.
I picked Kent State. He said Trace Jackson-Davis is too much.
Xavier, Iowa State.
That is such a gross game. Iowa State, I guess.
I wish we could play
watch
Xavier.
this game. You picked
Evan,
Iowa
we're
State,
getting
so
the
they're
other
in
Big
right
East
now.
team.
Yeah, but Xavier's worse.
We have Iowa State in our Sweet 16 right now.
They make the Sweet 16 often. They're always like
Halliburton.
A weird team that makes
They
it.
did last year. They beat Chucky.
They made it last year.
Penn State, Texas. I will go Texas. Sorry, Penn State.
Texas
by 1,000.
Yes.
They're my champion.
Kansas, Illinois is a really spicy game. If they had a better coach and had better history, I'd like to say Illinois, but Kansas is too good.
Is it my pick?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll pick Kansas. I think Jalen Wilson's too good.
I think Illinois is going to win because they've been so shitty in the tournament. They're finally going to win a game.
Well, they're going to lose their first.
Dude, they lost to Loyola Chicago. Remember when they had Kofi and they were supposed to make them?
They're a 1 seed.
Oh, God, they suck.
By Krutwig.
They lost to the 8.
Yeah.
VCU, UConn. I'll go UConn. I don't love it.
I didn't even pick VCU, so I think
TCU, Gonzaga. I'm going to go Gonzaga. I don't have a good read on this game. I'll go Gonzaga.
I'll go TCU just because I hate Gonzaga.
I think TCU is pretty damn good, but I'm taking Gonzaga.
Oh, no.
Cats, UCLA, and it's not even
by
close.
25.
Yeah.
Northwestern might muck the shit out of that game.
It's going to be
Northwestern
a muck game
will score 35.
No, they might score 46 and lose like 60-46. It's going to be terrible.
Oh, my God.
So I guess.
Back to the Sweet 16. Alabama,
Bama.
Charleston.
I'm
Bama.
sorry. I'm
Clemson tied by 1,000.
You're fine. Creighton, Arizona.
Arizona.
Creighton, why not? Creighton's fun. I'll go Creighton.
Arizona's good, and they have a great coach.
Evan.
You pick Creighton, Alex?
Arizona.
Oh, they beat Creighton by 2 earlier this year. Arizona did. These teams played. That's a good thing to know.
Oh, rematch. So I'm going to pick Arizona. Does that hurt you, Graham?
Purdue, Duke. I got Duke. Purdue is going to lose at some point.
There's going to be no vetoes.
I got Purdue.
I got Duke.
We're going to save our vetoes.
Everyone.
Well, it's just Purdue. We're fading Purdue. Purdue's not going to the Final Four, so we got to knock them out.
All right, fine.
Alex wanted Purdue so he can get Michigan State into the Elite Eight.
We're beating whoever we play in the Elite Eight, Evan. Let's just be honest.
Kentucky, MSU. I got Michigan State. They already proved
You're
this
lying,
is Sissoko
Ray.
legacy
You're
game.
lying to the people right now. You don't think this.
No. I got MSU, baby.
You're really punching MSU to the Elite Eight.
When I saw your guys' bracket, I looked at myself and I said, this is Travis Trice 2.0. This is beautiful. You're winning this game. You already beat this team. You know you can beat this team.
Man, this is tough.
Evan, Kentucky lost to Gonzaga by 16 points this year.
We don't need to know what common opponents, Grant. We played him on the court. And Matty Sissoko had to have the greatest game of his life to win in 2 overtimes.
And this is where he makes his
Akins was not 100%.
Mitch McGarry run.
I don't even know if Akins played in that game.
Michigan State, easy.
Didn't Tennessee beat Kentucky this year?
No,
Yeah,
those
at
were like
least at some
Kentucky's
point.
only wins.
Oh.
No, Kentucky won twice.
Yeah.
Well, it's up to you guys. I got MSU easily in the Elite Eight.
This is so ridiculous to say after they just lost to a 13 seed in the Big Ten tournament. Oh, man.
Get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Where's this game at, Evan?
Madison Square Garden.
Garden.
Yeah, it says Wells
Champions
Fargo
Classic.
Center,
This
Philadelphia.
is literally the Champions
no
Classic.
idea.
It's Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, I'll take Michigan State. Kentucky's defense is bottom. It's in the 70s.
Evan, all I have to ask you is, are you overriding this or not?
No, I'm not overriding it. It's just good for
Yes.
it's just good for the team.
It's just going to be hilarious when they lose to USC.
They're giving up 70. No, they're only giving up 68. Alex, we're giving up.
Evan, Ken Palm's the only stats that matter. And they're 71st in defense.
Opponents'
and adjusted
points per
defensive
game.
Efficiency. Adjusted defensive efficiency.
Can you tell me what that is?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay.
It's points allowed per 100 possessions. Okay.
Points per game on average.
Points allowed per 100 possessions. Teams are scoring 99.6 times out of 100 possessions against Kentucky. I don't think that's how that works.
No.
I think they're scoring one
think so
less
either.
than
So they're
100
scoring
time.
every single possession is what you're saying.
No, I think it's the opposite of that.
We're not big stats guys. Anyways,
We'll figure it out.
Houston, Indiana, Houston easily. Alex goes last year, I believe, Midwest.
You have Indiana in that?
I have Houston. Easy.
Yeah, but we had Indiana over Miami.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Oh, I'll pick Houston then.
Thank you, Evan.
Do
Houston.
What are you doing?
It. Veto
I was
it.
thinking about an override.
Do it.
I hate Houston.
Iowa State, Texas. Give me Texas.
Texas by 1,000 points again. They're winning it all.
Kansas, UConn. This is where I feel like a 4 wins, but I'm just gonna go Kansas.
I got UConn.
Ooh, a decision. Kansas won me the bracket last year. I feel like I shouldn't
You
go
love
against them. I'll go UConn. I don't know. We're really chalky other than Michigan State, so I feel like I had to get out there.
Well, there's Michigan State's our deep seed run.
That's gross.
Gonzaga UCLA, a fantastic game, one of the best tournament games of all time when Jalen Suggs hit that shot. This year, I got UCLA getting revenge. I think they somehow survive this game and win. But this is tough because I don't like UConn sitting there.
Oh, I guess it's Evan.
Because right now, in my mind, I have a comparison between UCLA and Michigan. When Michigan lost Livers, this would be Jalen Clark. They go to the Elite Eight, then they lose. But I don't like the idea of putting UConn in the Final Four. So I really don't know what to do. But I have UCLA winning the game.
I have UCLA winning easily.
Gonzaga override winners. They're winning this game. I guarantee it.
Gonzaga override. You wasted it.
I don't know when else I'm going to use it, so I might as well use it on the Bulldogs.
That's crazy.
It's not.
Well, I'm floored. UConn Gonzaga. Can you name like 3 guys on Gonzaga?
Right up Evan's ass, and they're going to be in the Final Four. I know.
Not safe for
I
work.
just can't wait for Gonzaga to lose. Grand Canyon's winning it, so it doesn't even matter.
Gonzaga has the number 1 Ken Pom offense in the country.
I don't give a shit.
You
about
got
Ken
so
Pom.
Top 5 3-point shooting team in the country. Every single
Alex,
guy.
They
so
play Sisters of the
threes.
Blind. They play Sisters
You got
of the
so
Blind.
mad at me last year using Ken Pom, and now I'm just going off my dome. And it's funny how the roles have reversed.
Alex, they play nobody.
They have a
in their
top
conference.
60 strength of schedule, Evan.
Don't give a shit. It's top 60. Congrats.
Okay, Elite Eight. Dial in, boys. This is where the money is made. Alabama, Arizona. I'm going to go Alabama. I think at some point their run fizzles out because of all the bad karma they've done this year, but I think they win this game.
I think it fizzles here, and they lose to Arizona.
Bama.
Okay. Bama has made it. Alex wishes he still had his override, but he's just going to sit on it for now.
No, I like Gonzaga.
In the Elite Eight, Duke, Michigan State rematch of last year. This year, the tide flips. Better coach, Michigan State to the Final Four versus Alabama.
You're joking, dude.
This is disgusting.
I'm
I'm
not.
just singing the praises of MSU to the Final Four. This is so gross. What you're
This
doing
is your
to
fault,
us.
Alex. This is your fault for not just picking us to lose Marquette, so we don't have to do this.
Embrace it and get uncomfortable.
Duke. We can't. We can't do it. I'm sorry, Grant.
You guys are losers.
They have a big guy.
Grant, I wanted us to lose in round 32, so.
What?
I just
I want
want
us to win every game, Evan.
I just want you guys to get uncomfortable.
We are.
With
this is
expectation.
already too far.
No, it's not. You guys are going to the Final Four this year. Mark it. Houston, Texas. What a great game for the state of Texas. It's Houston pretty easily in this one.
Evan, please.
Texas.
Horns up. Yeah.
Oh,
Texas
this-
just
All right.
blows them off the court.
Can I be?
Override.
No.
See the Cougars in the
dude,
Final
Texas
Four.
is my national champion.
Can I
Sorry,
override
Alex.
the override?
Yes. Yes.
You are allowed to. I was hoping no one would do it, but you are allowed to. I was going to do it to Alex if he overrided Indiana over Houston.
I thought about it.
Nobody. I don't even have. You have Gonzaga. I have nobody left.
Evan, you have to override Texas into
Nope,
this.
don't care. I don't care that
He's
enough.
not doing it.
You're already pissing me off enough that you had Michigan State being Marquette, so.
Well, I'm going to win the bracket pool again anyway, so it doesn't matter.
I know it's
for
rank
nothing.
poll again, anyways.
You're right.
UConn, Gonzaga. I don't know how we really got to this point. I think the 1 and the 2 in this region are very good, but here we are with the 3 and the 4.
Didn't we take Illinois over the 1?
No, we took
Who
Kansas.
picked Kansas.
Barely.
I am gonna go with Gonzaga.
Yep. Here's Evan's override.
I
Just
don't,
get
I
it out
don't
of the
care. I don't even care. You pick
It's
whatever
your
you want,
pick.
Alex. Nope,
your pick.
not. It is my pick. Grant picked Gonzaga, so that means I'm going to pick UConn to see who Alex has to pick.
Gonzaga.
All right. Our final 4, barring the last second override from Evan, is Alabama, Duke, and Houston, Gonzaga.
It should not be Houston.
Alabama, of all
It should be
things.
Texas, Evan. You know it.
I'm not doing it. This is your fault if you just saved your
I
override.
think Gonzaga's a Final Four team.
Alabama is playing Duke. The Magic will fizzle out at some point, but Alabama beats Duke
Alabama wins.
in this game. All right. Alex, who would you take in this game if you didn't? If
I would take Alabama.
you had?
I really don't
Okay.
even think I would have Duke this far, but I just had to pick them.
Well,
out
it should
of
be
principle.
Michigan State.
If it was Michigan State, I
All
would
right,
be
on
picking
the other
Michigan State to
side,
beat Alabama, just so everyone knows.
we have the game. Where's the Final Four? It's in Houston, Texas. Evan, I need you more than ever right now. Houston, Gonzaga. I have Houston winning this game to go to the national championship.
I
need
no, Evan.
I need you, Evan.
I
Gonzaga
have-
stinks.
Nope. I have
Gonzaga stinks.
defense always travels.
Houston.
They're coming off
That's
of
good D.
1 day off. Monday night, prime time, Jim Nance's last ever Final Four call.
This isn't Monday.
Yes.
This is a Saturday.
Where he went to his alma mater. He went to his alma mater.
Gosh, in Houston. Oh my god. Can you
Yes.
imagine rematch? And I am
Can you
going
imagine the
with,
letdown?
I'm going with Alabama.
Wait.
We haven't even gotten
No.
to the final yet, Evan. We're in the semis. Wake
What?
up.
Houston, Gonzaga. We're on Houston, Gonzaga. You picking Houston then?
Houston, yes,
Right?
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my god, I was nervous there.
Gonzaga.
That was a hilarious moment. Evan was
I
thinking
almost
about the
thought we were
title
in the
game.
finals. I thought we just put Houston in.
Wow,
We
I way to
shouldn't.
spoil
Houston's
that.
not even.
Way
in
to
the final.
spoil.
Alex, if you put Gonzaga, try to put Gonzaga national championship, that'd be the easiest override in my life.
I was gonna.
And
So
you're
Evan
dumb.
saved his override for the title game, so he could just decide who wins the title right now, which I believe we know is Alabama. Which, for the record, I disagree with. I think the karma bites him in the butt here.
You picked them against Arizona.
Yeah, because I think they get this far, then they lose in heartbreak.
To Houston?
I think Houston cuts down the Nets in their city
my
with Jim
God.
Nance.
Wow.
Oh my god, the storylines. Obviously, I'm picking. I'm picking Houston
Evan, override?
because I don't think Alabama's going to win it all with the way they've dealt with the devil all year.
Go with the devil.
Did you guys see they have two fans show up to the SEC tournament that said killing our way through the SEC 2023?
Yes.
Like,
See, bad
making
karma.
fun of-
They're gonna.
I think
lose.
so. in the
But
searching
Houston,
them for the
it's not going to
gun.
be to Houston.
It will be. Evan, are you overriding? Because
I'm
right
not.
now we have 2 votes.
I'm not overriding it.
Houston
You did-
national
Because I hate
champion.
this bracket. I don't like any teams. There's no point. It's over. The one team I did like, you guys overrode, but I wanted a football national championship. I wanted Alabama. I think Alabama and Texas could get a national championship.
Texas is going to be in the national
This
championship.
isn't NCAA football,
I do think
guys.
I do think Alabama's going to win the national championship, but
Texas is going
You're-
to win the
I'm
national
not
championship.
vetoing. I will
You're really not
veto.
vetoing.
No,
You're a legend.
I will not.
Marcus Carr.
I wish I could go back and veto. Just mark.
I wish I would have changed my vetoes to Texas, knowing what Grant did. But whatever.
Congratulations.
You have
your
a
picks have
boner
been
for
saved.
Gonzaga for no reason.
I picked Houston
They're
to cut
good,
down the
and
Nets
you just
in
hate
Houston.
on them for
They
no
are
reason.
not. They
They've
are
been to
not.
like 4 Final Fours in the last 8 years.
Who are we talking about?
Gonzaga. Evan acts like they're so bad in March. They're always in.
I'm not saying they're bad at March. I'm saying this team is not very good.
They're under the radar. That's why I like them.
Just so you guys are aware, our final score is 70-62.
So low scoring.
Yeah.
Have you activated this group, Grant?
Not yet. You can set it up if you want, or I can do it like later
You can totally do it.
tonight or in the week. All right.
I would just send it out tomorrow, so we just bombard people with it every single day.
Yeah.
Gonzaga
The
played their
Cougs.
toughest schedule in school history this year.
We actually let the
care.
Houston Cougars win the
They
title.
played
I'm
Purdue,
so
Alabama,
jazzed.
Texas, Xavier, Baylor, Tennessee, St. Mary's, Kentucky, Michigan State, and Kent State.
Don't say
All
St.
two
Mary's. Do not say St.
I
Mary's. on there.
cannot believe Evan just didn't use his override.
I don't care.
It didn't really fall well for us to use overrides. That's why I just used it. Didn't know if I'd ever
Well,
get a chance.
Alex, if you're looking back in hindsight's 2020, you would have overridden Indiana, which would have forced me to override that override and go Houston, and then
Then
you
we
guys
could
could have
have
got me on
Texas.
Texas. Yeah.
Hindsight's 2020.
Well, I didn't
But
know
I was
that.
thinking-
So I'm not overriding Kent State just to lose one game, though.
Yeah, I just
I'm
didn't think
taking
it was
Houston
worth it
to the
because I didn't
ship.
think Indiana was going to be a Final Four team. Texas is a Final
Agreed.
Four team, and this is a huge miss by Grant.
Marquette's a Final Four team.
They might be.
No. Michigan State. I should
You
have
better do
overridden
this in your
Michigan
real
State.
bracket. Michigan State better be
Michigan
in the
State
Final Four.
they will be in my Final Four, and they will lose to Alabama. That's a fact.
That's so crazy. I hate
It's
that.
not.
I hate when you're confident in us.
I've watched so much basketball in my life that this is like history repeats itself. This is the run you make.
We'll find out.
I didn't put out those Kemba Walker, Tyson Walker stats for nothing.
Mm.
All right. That is a show. These group brackets are always fun. It's wild to see
Join
the
our
twists and
group,
turns.
Men's Tournament Challenge. Shot of Michigan Sports. Actually, the name of the group is.
Evan will tweet it.
It'll be on Facebook too.
We'll get it set up. I'll go back in the weeds. This should be easy to reactivate, right?
Yeah. Shot of Michigan Sports is the name of the
Gonzaga's
bracket.
been in the tournament 24 years in a row, Evan.
We have a podcast ESPN account, right? That's what we use?
Yes, it's through that email. I couldn't tell you what the password is. You might just have to reset it.
Grant, did you fill out the bracket as we went?
Yeah.
Nice.
So I'll just screenshot it and then enter it as a different one. I think it's saying it under my own personal ESPN, but it's completed. So, all right, that is the show. Good luck to everyone in March. Stay tuned for the bracket. Enjoy St. Patrick's Day and the first day, Michigan State at noon. What a day!
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Cheers to episode 113.
Cheers.
Cheers to Green Beer.
March.
To March Madness.
To
We
Houston
sleep in
coming
May.
down the nets in Houston.